Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Thursday morning, and the Raptors won again last night, the second night of a back-to-back in Sacramento. So, yeah, this is good. The two nights, two wins, and a little bit of similarities in the games. The Raptors came out really swinging and kicked their butt in the beginning, but the Kings did play well in the first and had the lead by the end of the first. But right at the start, the Raptors started really well once again and had the lead to start the game. Last night, an awesome win. It was one of these strange games where the Raptors really just win one quarter of the whole entire game. They lose the three other quarters, but the one quarter they win is so overwhelmingly a win that they win the game, and it still is kind of looks like a rout even by the end of the game. It's crazy because we were up by 20 at certain points in the fourth because of the fantastic third quarter we had. And it was just like earlier this season, we kind of had a signature for making really good third quarters to kick the other team's butt after halftime. It's like a Darko adjustments. And we were handling the zone better at that point. This is one of the struggles of the Raptors this year is handling the zone. And Darko let it be known after the game that they've been working very hard on solutions for when the other team puts the zone on them. Yeah, I know y'all are laughing. Y'all are like, it's a high school thing. And I'm like, listen, once again, you get a zone put on you in the NBA, you're getting NBA players putting zone on you, not high school kids. So it's like, I know it seems like it's simple. And honestly, I think Scott's figuring it out more. Like they actually, he had to interview with Kayla after the game. He got the chain, and he stacked a nice aggressive dominant performance, two in a row against Golden State and Sacramento, which is a big deal because there's been a penchant for Scottie to rise up for one game and then disappear the next game. And he didn't do that. In both these games against Golden State and the Kings, he had a very consistent aggression of, I'm going to go and do the things I need to do offensively. And in fact, we continue to see the door open more and more for the dominant kind of player Scottie can be to absolutely control games and help us do what we want to do with getting W's. More like Giannis, getting more and more like Giannis, getting more and more like Kawhi. Just a dude that the Kings had nobody to stop him. Nothing. Nobody on that team could stop him. It's like, hi, Precious, we love you. You can't stop Scottie. Maxime Renault, come on now. This weird rookie, kid. I mean, he's a good rookie center, but you're not stopping Scottie. Who else is going to do it? You going to dust off Doug McDermott? Bring him out here? Hell no. He'll run around and what? This brash rookie Cardwell and his bullshit. He's going to stop Scott? No. But I will tell you, Scottie will do something on the other side too, along with not being able to be stopped by the Kings. He's going to stop DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, and he did. We love our GROAT, one of the greatest Raptors of all time, the ultimate sacrifice, DeMar DeRozan. I kind of got sad to see that DeMar only had 8 points in this game at the end of the game, thinking, that's Scottie, tying him up in a bow like he's a gift to give to somebody. Yeah, he tied him up real good. DeMar, man, Scottie's good, isn't he? Yeah. I actually really enjoyed seeing them talk to each other after the game. It's kind of like a weird two very, very important Raptors in the history of the Toronto Raptors, kind of commiserating at the end of the game. And there is an affinity that DeRozan has for the Raptors franchise on some level. That's not totally bitter and cold. He understands where he comes from. He understands that in some ways he does want to see the Raptors win, even if it hurt to see that championship the year after he got traded. So it's kind of interesting. Like, what does he think about Scottie Barnes? Kyle Lowry in his press conference after playing us 2 games in a row recently said a lot of nice things about Scottie Barnes. He never played with Scottie Barnes. He has no reason to talk up Scottie Barnes. Why would Kyle Lowry speak up Scottie Barnes when he never played with him? He's never his teammate. And in some ways, Kyle, well, his allegiance to Toronto is just the connection and the history, right? Because he cares about the Raptors and he wants the Raptors to succeed. And he does want the Raptors to win more and more in the future. He's not selfish. He doesn't want to be a one and done championship for our franchise with him in the middle of it. He'd love to see us get more later down the road, and he'd be rooting for us then too. Yeah, he would be. And I would like to think that, who knows, maybe DeMar would too. DeMar's a very highly intelligent, emotional person. He's not on his base emotions. He's not like a child. This man's a grown man that has gone through the mental struggles and wars to be at the place where he is at this point, to be so mentally clear and strong. And in some ways, hate or disdain or feelings of, whatever negative feelings he could have from his experience with the Toronto Raptors, they don't serve him in any kind of way at this point, and he's above it. That's kind of cool, man. If you think about it, that's one of the best things about DeMar's role model for the world is like, look, you can look at my situation and what happened to me in all the ways you want to, but I'm gonna hold my head up high, control what I can control, and I'll still be an NBA great. I'll still be a Hall of Famer. And it doesn't matter what y'all think. The reality is the truth will seek in and show that people like Casey and DeRozan were absolutely essential for us to win the championship. Absolutely essential for us to win that year in 2019, even if they weren't present and accounted for it and got the ring themselves. Yeah, it's complicated, man. It's complicated. All right, we're going to do the stream. I am on fumes. After a back-to-back on the West Coast and Lexi staying up till 3 in the morning, 2 nights in a row, and hardly getting no sleep, I am a little delirious with lack of sleep. So this stream might be pretty funny. We'll just have to see. I'm going to try and be slow and methodical so that it doesn't just sound like crazy gibberish out of an old man's mouth who hadn't slept in 2 days. Okay, all right, let's see what Trevor J's saying. Of course, the Commissioner Fund, Trevor J, starts our day with the words of wisdom. When people say they can't see anything good in you, just hug them and say life is difficult for the blind. Wow, I like this. This one's sassy. That's crazy. When people say they can't see anything good in you, well, those don't seem like the people you should be spending time with usually then. Yeah, I guess hug them and get out. Hug them, tell them they're blind, and go on then. You don't even need to tell them they're blind. Just tell yourself personally, because you don't even need to invite the confrontation. Just give them a hug. Oh, they're so sweet. Here you go. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. And then hug them, then take off. Never see them again. Yeah. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. And blessings to the Jones family, all the Rap Freak families. That's right. Yeah. All right. Trevor's brought up. This is actually something I'm really excited to talk about today. In fact, let me get my calendar for a second. I filled it out yesterday because the news came out yesterday. Well, Teresa Resch and the Toronto Tempo's big surprise yesterday was that they released the WNBA schedule. And we now know when the first Toronto Tempo game is supposed to be played, hopefully will be played. Nothing getting in the way of it. May the 8th, Coca-Cola Coliseum, Washington Mystics will be the first opponent for the WNBA franchise, the Toronto Tempo. And I got the schedule. I wrote it all down. I've gone over it. I've looked at it. I analyzed it a little bit. In some ways, I can't analyze it like the Raptors schedule with the back-to-backs and everything like that, but I can. To a degree, I can. So when we talk about the Toronto Tempo schedule and go over it a little bit today, for sure. Yeah, Trevor's saying, so the WNBA is back and Tempo schedule is out. 3 of the Tempo's games will be played at Scotiabank Arena. Yeah. There's a game on a Saturday against the Phoenix Mercury that I'm kind of penciling in that I want to be at. Yeah. Yeah, it's an afternoon game. I don't know. We got to figure this out. I should actually talk about this with you guys really quick because time's running out and there's 2 games for the G League that I want to try and go to, possibly one of them. And the 2 games are, all right, does anybody want to go see the Raptors 905 on February the 7th? Play the Grand Rapids Gold on a Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. I'm thinking about either that game, which I know is pretty close. It's like it's like about 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away, maybe not even that. It's about 2 weeks. 1, 2, yeah, 2 weeks away. Or there's a game at the beginning of March that's against the Greensboro Swarm on March the 1st. It's a Sunday, and that game's at 2 p.m. I want to do a weekend 2 p.m. game and go to 905. I don't even care if any of y'all come with me. I'm going to go to one of these games, but if any of y'all have a preference and want to come with me, it's either the February 7th game on Saturday against Grand Rapids or the March the 1st game against Greensboro at 2 p.m. I do want to go to one more 905 before the season's up. So, yeah, we should talk about that. If anybody has a preference and they want to go to the game with me, let me know. Yeah, Trevor J saying Raptors finally figured out the zone in the 3rd quarter to go on a run to win. Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah, this was a good game. There's a lot of, the things that I learned from this game last night is we were a really good team. We were getting our butt kicked and things weren't exactly right for a while in the middle of that game, but we figured out, we make a plan, we execute it. And then the great thing about the Raptors, because this could have been a problem last night, honestly, Pat Frere was not being cool to a degree. The referees could have manipulated the game to loss to the Kings because the game was somewhat close in the 4th quarter, and they were in striking distance. But the Raptors kept right around a double-digit lead for the most part, right up until the end. And that's important, I'm telling you right now, because you could see it last night. Once again, this is 2 nights in a row, both wins for the Raptors, where the referees' calls at the different ends of the court are very different. They're not calling shit for the Raptors, and they're calling like crazy for the other team to help them and put them on the line a lot. I mean, this wasn't as bad last night as it was against the Warriors the night before, but it was still there to a degree. And yeah, it was just, I'm just really happy about the resiliency and the way the Raptors play to execute and get these wins. It's very professional. In some ways, it's not like a young core totally. I mean, we fumbled some games this year because we've been young and not really taking it seriously how important or how much you have to do to win NBA games. There's definitely been games like that this year. But more recently, especially since the calendar flipped to this calendar year, the Raptors have been handling their business correctly, taking care of stuff and executing, because, either one of these games the last 2 nights could have been fumbled. They could have been fumbled, but they played a certain level of excellence and execution and just doing things right that they're like Bret Hart. Yeah, the excellence of execution. I said excellence and execution. I just say Bret Hart, obviously. That's just where it goes right there, right? Bryce is here. Good morning, Bryce Lawson. How are you doing this morning, Bryce? I was super tired, so I didn't get to watch the game, but I'm so happy we got the W. Yeah, man, I'm tired, like, now. Like, seriously, I don't think I've slept hardly at all. I'm a little delirious. Blah! Yeah, it was worth it. It was fun. I love watching Precious Achua trying to get a revenge game against the Raptors. I love seeing Dennis Schroeder light it up from the bench. Yeah, it's fun. Last night's game was interesting because the Kings are a weird team, man. And I get why they're not winning. I mean, I get it. They just don't make sense, right? They're a team that just don't make sense. I mean, there are a lot of guys on that team I really love and respect. They don't make sense. They just don't make sense. This game last night, it's weird because the Kings have some really interesting talent in certain ways with DeRozan and Westbrook and Levine. And they're the thing is, and this is what I was saying in the middle of the game on the Discord, is like this is a game where if you're not a good defender, you will get exposed. Like if you're not a good one-on-one defender on the Raptors, you'll get exposed against Westbrook or DeRozan or Levine. That's kind of who they or even Malik Monk. These guys will expose you if you're not a very good defender. They will put a move on you and they will score on you. Yeah. DeMar was obviously the priority. They really took DeMar out of this game last night, and specifically Scottie. Scottie really, really shadowed DeMar and did not let him do jack shit. In some ways, that's really super impressive because DeMar DeRozan is like that. And the fact that we held him to 8 points last night is super impressive. Seriously, super impressive. Trevor J. Sam Precious said the Raptors is really good. Awesome. Yeah. I some of the things Precious was doing last night against us is like, well, he could have been that third center that helped us. And we actually talked about this in the summer, right? Precious was still sitting out there as a free agent, and at the last minute before the season, the Kings snatched him up and brought him on their team. But he was available for the longest time, and in some ways, I was kind of like, I would love Precious to come back to Toronto. Because I know that in some ways we've already been down that road and done that. Some people are saying, no, we don't want Precious. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but you didn't like Malachi. Just trust me. He made Precious look bad. Malachi made Precious look bad. Just so you know. All right. Because look, what was he doing last night? He was getting offensive rebounds and putting them back. In some ways people say, well, we have our Precious. It's Jonathan. I know they look like each other sometimes. And like Jonathan's been mistaken for being Precious in the past. But it's not the same. And in some ways, it's like, I don't know, man. What if we had Precious on our roster this year? And in some ways, he's totally different than Chris Boucher. I don't know. Maybe he could have been that extra piece that actually fits exactly what we need because Day'Ron Sharp and Precious Achiuwa are not that far off each other, really. And of course, Precious has time with us already. He's very acclimated to Toronto being a Raptor. I don't know. I get the feeling that Scottie and Precious don't totally vibe right, but they are old friends. I mean, they spent time together in the past before they were even on the Raptors. And I mean, when they were playing together as teammates for that period of time, I always felt like there was kind of because Scottie was a rookie, right? And it was his first couple years in the league that Precious was his teammate. And I always felt like, in some ways, Precious was good to have around for young Barnes because he's a really athletically skilled, athletic guy like Scottie is, and he could push him. That he could be like, I always felt like there's a little bit of a weird underlying kind of not rivalry, but like internal competition with Achua and Barnes when we had them both on our team when a couple years ago. So I don't know. Precious is cool though, man. I'm so glad he got taken up by the Kings and didn't sit out this year. And I feel like it's a testament that he's starting for them. And that, that shows that he's a valuable NBA player because they could start all kinds of people on the Kings. They don't have to start Precious, but they find value in starting Precious. So yeah. Thank you, Precious, for the nice words. Thank you. Yeah, Reggie's here. Good morning to the Smooth Brown Man, our Raptor Freak trivia champion, and a member of this channel. I appreciate you for supporting the channel. Happy to see the last few games. The Raptors have cleared things up. Jakob's seeing a specialist for his back. Not sure if you spoke about that yesterday. Yeah, that tweet came out late after the show. Michael Grange putting out extra information that Jakob Poeltl has diverted from the Raptors on the road and come back to Toronto on Wednesday. That's why he wasn't on the bench last night. He was on the bench for the Warriors game. And he's back here in Toronto to see a specialist today. And they're going to do some stuff with him today here in Canada. So, yeah, that's the news. That's the latest news on that. Let me read it exactly. Where did I put it? I don't know if I can find that quote. I don't know if I can find it. But, yeah, Michael Grange reporting that Poeltl is back in Toronto, and he's getting a specialist to work on his back. So, hopefully these things work. I don't know. In some ways, I'm like, guys, let's just not overanalyze Jakob right now. Let's just kind of chill, and hopefully he'll just show up again. Because, like, right now, it's getting annoying because he should have came back around Christmas from what they said initially, and now it's like a month after Christmas. So, and RJ didn't come back last night. After all, they decided to hold him off one more time, but they did make it very clear he's this close to coming back, but he didn't come back last night. Hopefully, he'll come back against Portland tomorrow night. One more game on that West Coast. Oh my gosh, it's out there. All right, we got the infamous 6, guys. It's 2 days in a row. Good morning, infamous.
Good morning, Lex. How are you today?
Tired?
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I got you.
So,
Yeah, it is.
how do you feel about the Kings game?
Okay, here we go. It's cold today, but I'm heating up the scene. Raptor freaks, but my boy Lex with the dream. Infamous 6 got the ears to the streets. Kings bow down, got them shaking like some cheeks.
Wow. Wow. I love it, man. Was that just off the top of your head, or were you prepared?
No, man. I used to rap, man.
This is awesome, man. So you did really just freestyle just now.
Yeah, I freestyle.
That's awesome, man. You know what we could do? You know what we could do? This has opportunity here. The opportunity here is that maybe we could do like a freestyle, and I could try and do one off of the same beat as you, and like we can do it like the classic way, right? Where we toss it back and forth. Yeah. Yo.
Yeah.
This is Infamous and Lex on the show. You got to come and see us at 9:30, yo, because we got the best scoops on the Raptors, and you can see all the things you need to know. I'm gonna have to work. I haven't worked that muscle in a while, so I might have to do some working on it for a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta work. We both gotta work on it.
No, but yours was good, man. No lies. Seriously, I felt like you wrote that down and read it, man. I'm like, no, you just said it, man. That's cool, man. Yeah. All right, let's get to business.
Let's get into the game.
The analysts.
Okay, I want to say great professional win. It's hard to win a back-to-back in any sport. And for the Raptors to go into the Kings, because there's always a letdown after you win the first game.
Yep.
So it's good to see that they went into the win professionally, got what they needed to do. Everybody contribute. There's one thing I want to talk to you about, and I don't know if you I want to tackle this for a quick minute. What do you think about reconstructing Grady's shot?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like he's done that, and that screwed him up. You know,
that's what screwed him up.
I think that his shot has changed from last year. His shot has not got the same action in it. It doesn't have the same vibrancy. It's a weird, it's kind of hard to explain. It's very, it's just like very, what's the right word? Straightforward at this point, but it's not in the right way. I've said before,
there's something off about it.
Yeah, I've said 2 things: that he looks like he doesn't have as much rotation on his shot anymore, and he doesn't look like he's arcing it as high either.
Yeah, the slingshot, it's kind of like a slow release, and I'm thinking in order to reconstruct a shot is very difficult.
Sure, especially for a kid who's done it the same way since he was.
Right.
He hasn't changed his shot, and that he's been proud about that. But I don't know what's going on. You haven't changed your shot, but you might need to.
You might need to.
Yeah.
But you know why I look at it, Lex? Because you remember Lonzo Ball when he first came into the league, right? His shot had to be reconstructed because he was crossing his body because he was left-handed, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of doing the crosses.
Yeah, he's one of those jump shots they had to identify on that game, on that clip recently. It's like, oh, that's Lonzo because he does this weird crossover thing with his arm.
Right.
Yeah.
Crossover thing with the arm. So I'm thinking it's hard to reconstruct a shot. It takes years sometimes.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that Grady may need that slingshot method, kind of like a Larry. But they did that slingshot method over the head.
Yeah.
He may need to change it to like almost similar to like a Curry release where it comes up through the body. Like the way you teach it sometimes. I know you said it a couple of times on the podcast here that, it comes straight from your legs and up through your body.
Yeah.
You may need to change it. What do you think about that?
I think that anything he can do to help his percentage from 3 right now is really good because, like, honestly, like right now, he was pissing me off last night because he had how many open threes last night that he did not make.
Thank you. And that's the thing that was cheesing me off. And those are the shots with nobody in front of you. Those are the shots you gotta bury.
Yeah.
You gotta bury.
Yeah, that's what you're known and advertised as. I mean, now, granted, I'm going to give Grady, I was really mad in the Discord at him, and I was saying some crazy stuff last night during the game with people that were in there. because I was like, man, whatever. But then he did have a couple of redeeming moments in the game also last night. He did get double digits as a starter, and he did shoot. He did better near the basket than he did outside. And there was a really good steal like that he got, and then he ran down himself and he showed strength with the defender really trying to mess him up. I was like, okay, good. You're a man. You can be a man in the NBA and not look like a little boy getting your candy stole, you know?
Right.
And
you know what, Les?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was thinking they need to move. Here's what I was thinking. I was watching the game, I was analyzing it. I think they may need to move him from the corners and put him at the top of the 3-point arc, not at the top of the key part, but to the side of the 3-point arc, either on the left or the right. I think he works better from there, taking his shot.
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't think he works in the corners.
Man, I don't know. You know what I think? This is what I think he needs to do. I think that one of the things that may be happening into the season is he's not getting enough shots up off the court in his own time. That this is the thing. They like to be a really good shooter. They say something like you need to shoot 1,000 shots like every day or something like that. Could it be that the grind and the NBA schedule and the way that life is in the NBA just doesn't allow Grady to get the number of shots up that he would do to get really zeroed in and locked in and make the shots?
Right.
I'm just trying to grasp it, whatever it could be, you know?
Right. I just hope he gets it together. I was listening to the Raptors Republic, and they were mentioning that the team doesn't really. When you're a team the team doesn't really practice very often.
No, they don't
really practice when they get the breaks. You know, when they get that long layoff in between games. But when they're on the road and everything, we think, oh, why don't they practice it? They don't get the time? They don't have the time.
No, they'll do like a shoot around in the morning and kind of like a little bit of stuff, but they're not doing any full practices, especially when there's like these months that we've had in December and January where it's every other day with games. You know.
Right.
So
Lex, I was about to choke somebody last night. You know why?
Why?
I was listening to the Kings broadcast.
Right,
because that was the only feed that I could get. You know what they said? One of the broadcast dudes on the Kings feed
Mark
said
Jones.
That Scottie Barnes was a poor man's Draymond Green.
Mark Jones said that.
Oh, he said that?
Mark Jones from Toronto. Mark Jones, the younger, the brother of Paul Jones. Paul Jones, the radio call for our team. His brother, I think he's his little brother. Mark Jones has been doing the Kings.
His younger brother.
Yeah. I can't believe that. That's so disrespectful. I mean, did you not? I guess he didn't pay attention the night before and what happened with the Warriors and the Raptors and Scottie and Draymond. Like, yeah, poor man's Draymond Green. Like, that's tired and old and a casual, lazy take that came from like the draft. And that may have been that just show us how behind you are, Mark Jones. No, that's the comparison from like 2022.
Yeah, because we know the history of Mark Jones. For the Raptor fans that don't know this, Mark Jones was the one that coined the phrase LeBronto.
Yeah,
it came from him.
He's a POS, man. You know what? My history with Mark Jones is interesting because growing up in the States and living in Florida, I knew about Mark Jones before Paul Jones because Mark Jones has been on American TV since he was in his 20s. Like he was really young and he came down to the States and he used to do a ESPN3 show on the weekends that was all the dunk highlights. And he was like, hi, I'm Mark Jones, and it's the NBA Today, and we're in here. And he did like the league show, right? For the whole, and he was on ESPN. So we all saw him all over the whole entire States. And then I came up north back after university, and Paul Jones was working for the Raptors, and I never made the connection that they were brothers until much later. And the part of it was that I didn't realize Mark Jones was Canadian this whole entire time when I was watching.
He tries to hide it.
He does.
He tries to hide
he
it.
hides his origins from being from Toronto. And there was, I've heard him have one interview with talking about growing up, the Jones boys in Western Toronto, because he says he like would run up and down like with Paul, like at St. Clair West in that area. Like, it's just, I don't know. He's annoying. He's annoying, and he's not. He's the kind of broadcaster that Vince is. Let's just put it that way. Vince Carter and him are birds of a feather.
And the last couple of things I wanted to touch on. Finally, the zone breaker, Scottie, man. Like, we got to really explore. Shout out to Darko. I got to give Darko a lot of respect for his coaching. He really exploited the key last night. Like, that middle area with the key to the left or the right of the key, he really exploited it by putting Scottie in the middle, right? And having Scottie just zone, just look over and just pick apart the Kings defense that way. And here's the thing, Lex, I want to throw this at you. What do you think about, I think we can even really look at even exploring putting Brandon in that key area where Scottie is, or even RJ Barrett. I was actually looking forward to RJ Barrett playing last night. I think RJ Barrett would be nice in that key area as well. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that with Scott, if you're doing it with him, though, you've got a plethora of options with him in that position, as far as like he could just muscle his way a couple more little bit just to get to the basket. He's going to be an amazing, like, observant passer to make a really good pass from out of there when he reads the defense and how the zone is shifting. And then also we saw him taking a lot of those, like, just inside the 3-point line shots. Like, there was one point last night where he was in that position and he looked all around. He bounced at the one guy. They bounced it right back to him. I think it was Shed. And then he took the shot and it was just money. And he was like, because he didn't even move. He was still standing right near the free throw line and he just drained it. Yeah.
And if he can learn to hit that down consistently, that will break it.
He is, though. I mean, a lot of the stuff he's doing within 15 feet is going in. Like, there's a couple misses here and there, but man, he's so solid and so money with those moves in that area of the paint and around the basket there now. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking, like, once he gets in that area, I was thinking if he could do a little bit of an up fake if he could do a little bit of up fake, he's straight to the basket. He's right there.
Yeah. Somebody was saying yesterday that they feel like Scottie is learning stuff from Brandon and he's starting to implement it in his mid-range.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And my final thing, I just a little poke. Shout out to our boy Dennis Schroeder, man, for slapping the shit out of Luka. Listen, I know that was his first game back from his suspension. Listen, I'm not condoning violence out there, people. Listen, I'm not condoning violence, but Luka's just not one of my favorite players. I'm just gonna be honest. He's not.
Yeah.
And it's just his attitude and stuff. So he was very disrespectful to Dennis Schroeder. If people don't know, he basically called him the P word. And it said something about the whole contract thing. And then what Dennis did is that he waited for him at the back of the arena where the cameras weren't. There was no cameras located. And, he progressively put hands on him. So, I'm okay with that. Not gonna lie, but yeah, I think Luka needs some smacks from time, man. A little bit of
I'm wondering if, like, Luka, since he's gone to LA, has become a little more sassier and a little bit more of a dick, because in some ways it's kind of like he's on that market, and like Hollywood and California is a different kind of place, and than Dallas, and maybe he's taken on a little bit more of the cockiness of the Laker franchise in some ways. I don't know. It seems like that could be possible.
You know what they say, Lex? It's either in you, right? It just brings out more of what's in you.
It just brings out more of it. Because he did seem like the other night, like he was way too whiny, and like just really.
He does that all the time.
But it seems like it's even worse than it was when he was on the Mavericks.
Oh my gosh!
Maybe it's because he's with LeBron and they're like a chorus now, and they're just like, what?
He doesn't get like even his coach, JJ Redick, literally publicly criticized him about it, not getting back on defense. Like, he'd just be there arguing with the coach, throwing up his hands, and just, it's just ridiculous. And my last point.
Well, let me piggyback off what you just said, because I want to give credit to the Raptors for not taking the bait with the refs and whining and crying and getting out of plays in games recently, because these are exactly what he just described with Luka. We could be easily doing that again a lot still, and losing games partly because we're taking out the games because of the bad calls. And these guys are just saying, no, we're just going to keep going and we're just going to go do this and try and win through it. instead of whining and complaining and coming at the refs. I mean, sure, we're telling people like, look, yeah, he hit my arm. Yeah, Scottie gets called for a travel. He's like, that wasn't a travel. Or, Jonathan's like, that was a clean block, and they challenge it, and it is a clean block, not a goaltend. There is some pushback and complaining that we need to do to a level, but it should never be where you're standing at one end of the court still, and the whole play has gone down the court, and you are not in it because you are talking to a ref. So, right. Yeah. All right, your last point. Sorry, Infamous.
Last point. I'm excited I was hoping to see RJ back, but I'm excited to get RJ back in this mix. I think he's going to be that extra card that we have to play in the deck. So I'm very excited to see RJ back. I'm hearing that he's going to be back for the Portland game.
He should have been back last night, but they decided to hold him one more time. So we're expecting him for Trailblazers for sure. So
yeah, and that's it.
All right, man. Well, I love how you came into this call, man. That was awesome. If that wants to be your signature, you could do it. I'm totally for it. I'll have to brush up on my chops and maybe practice more so that we can pass the mic.
We gotta do a back. We gotta do a back and back, a cipher. We gotta do a back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna have to figure out your rhyme word and then see what I can do off of it.
Okay.
All right, Infamous, man. Thanks for calling the Infamous 6, man. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, I'll get some rest at some point.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man. All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm a little delirious. I'm a little crazy. But man, his little lyric there was awesome, man. Right from the start there. That was pretty cool, man. All right, I got to get focused here. I'm a little all over the place here. Bryce is saying this, that Scottie is averaging 24.6 points per game, 8 assists per game, and 7.6 rebounds in the last 5 games. Consistency. Yeah, he's an all-star, and he will be for sure. Man, ESPN's pissing me off, man. They're not giving us any credit for what we're doing this year at all. It doesn't matter what the article is. If there's an article that has any kind of way where they could be talking about us in the East, they ignore us. They do not take us seriously as somebody in the East that just, even though we're in the top 4 and could possibly be in the top 3 very soon, because we're tied with New York technically in the standings right now. And then, things like, the rankings and stuff like that. Like, they've come out with a bunch of rookie rankings recently, and they're sliding Colin. It sucks, man. Like, they have odds to win Rookie of the Year, and they have 15 guys listed on it, and they do not have Murray-Boyles even on there. Yet, they say that Murray-Boyles, and this is another thing I think they're sliding him on, they ranked their top 10 rookies of this year, and they put Colin at number 9. I feel like they did that just because that's his draft position, and they don't want to concede that the Raptors may have drafted well and gotten a higher than the 9th player in this draft, as good as he is. I think he's a top 5 player in this draft. And, they're just going to try and shape perception and trying to, because this is the thing. The insidious thing about it is that it teaches other people that are in the league or coming up into the league that if you get on the Raptors, you're going to get ignored. You're going to get slighted for recognition league-wide, and this is part of the machine to hurt the Raptors. It's a very insidious kind of on the down low thing. It's like, look, that's part of the reason why they build this whole idea nobody wants to play for the Raptors, like Rudy Gay says, is because it's not easy. It's because any recognition or accolades because of NBA politics is really hard to get. And that's why when Siakam and Van Vliet get them, it is super impressive. So, yeah, I hate it because in some ways I get it. Colin hasn't really started the whole year, but he has been starting more recently. And you know what? You can go ahead and put what rank you want for Murray-Boyles as far as his place in the rookie class. He's going to be a top 5 rookie from this class when all's said and done over his career. So, yeah, I'm just sick of it, man. I was going to go there and talk about it, but I'm like, man, screw it, man. I don't even want to put this article on my tabs. And even, I did talk about it a little bit just now. Let's see. But, yeah, Scottie, in some ways, he feels this too. The coaches will put him on the all-star team, but there's a lot of like downplaying him and not really talking him up anywhere where they could be talking him up. You want to talk up Anthony Edwards? You want to talk about John Morant? You want to talk about all these guys and say they're stars? Well, Scottie Barnes is a star. So get with it, ESPN. and start covering them like that. Seriously. Trevor J saying that Mo Bamba had a big game in the G League for the Salt Lake City Stars. 24 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 blocks. Yeah. Yeah. Mo Bamba can do that on the G League level. In some ways, he's got all the time and the talent against the talent that's there to do that. But yeah, I don't know. Reporting on this, is this to make Raptors Nation get all crazy and say, why did we let him go? No. Is this just to take note that he is back in the G League and he's on Salt Lake City Stars again? I don't know. Mo Bamba, you were a Raptor for 2 games, and that's it. Reggie's saying Precious isn't a 5. No thanks. Yeah, but he can do the things that we need for that because he has done those things for us in the past. Remember, the last time we were in the playoffs, that man was holding down Joel Embiid. So in some ways, it's like, look, you can say he's not a 5, but the man can rebound and play low post defense. And in some ways, that's what we're looking for right now. And it's when he was doing it to us last night, I was like, oh, yeah, Precious. Is he a viable option? I don't know. I know a lot of people say we didn't been down that road. We don't need him to come back. And that's probably true. Bryce is saying the difference is Dayron is 6'10 and Precious is 6'8. Yeah, Precious plays bigger than his height, though. Seriously. I mean, there is a difference there. And Bryce is right. Kareem saying keep attacking the zone. Cool. And Good Game likes the rap, the laid down by Infamous there. W Infamous. That's right. I'm going to give Infamous a dunk. I don't often circle back, especially since he's probably my most consistent caller these days. He's getting his first dunk of the year. He's got the notorious BI3, and that is for, spitting some bars there. That's pretty cool. Fiercey's here. Good morning, MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. They hit us with the zone in the second quarter, but we came back and adopted in the third. Bravo. Yeah, this halftime adjustments, we're not messing around. The Raptors really pay attention. Our coaching staff is really eagle-eyed. It's not just Darko. Darko's directing everything and patrolling the sidelines, maybe coming over the half-court line a little bit too much or, coming out here or there in some ways and like, oh, the ref's saying, get in your coach's box. But the other guys are back there watching too. Pat Delaney, Jama, Coco, Mike Batiste, Curry, and Vin Bagnani, Evo, Mary. They're all watching and they got different duties for what they watch, and they're probably making observations, and they come and bring their collective knowledge, and then they come to talk to Darko and they distill some information to give the Raptors at halftime. And then we see a crazy quarter like we did last night. I mean, the Raptors outscored the Kings in the third quarter, 43-21. That's doubled them up. We doubled up their points in the third quarter. They scored 21. We scored 43. And that's where we won the game right there. We won the game in the fourth quarter. It was awesome. Oh, speaking of 4 quarters, hang on here. We got the sheriff calling from Calgary. Good morning, Seymour.
Yeah. Back-to-back wins. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't been watching because I've been busy. I've been pulling orders this morning, but let's get into quarter number 1.
Sure. Quarter number 1.
Do you think the West tried to take the game yesterday for Sacramento?
Pat Frere was definitely all right. This is what I think happened last night, Seymour. Listen to this. Okay, I thought that what the NBA wanted was us to lose the Warriors, and they did a much harder ref hit job with Josh Tiven the night before, where they really wanted to make it happen. The Warriors sucked, and they had nothing without Jimmy, that they couldn't make any kind of comeback. So they failed on the hit job they wanted. That should have been a loss. They wanted us to lose the Warriors. We went off script. So the Kings normally would be a win for us, and they wouldn't care about that. But they saw that we beat them, so they did want to kind of make up the hit job from the Warriors last night. And Pat Frere was leaning towards doing that kind of stuff. He did make some biased, weird calls, but in some ways they didn't see it through, because in some ways we were going to beat the Kings too. So yeah, in some ways, if the league had their choice, we would have lost one of these 2 games in the last 2 nights.
That's deep.
Yeah. All right, man. Second quarter.
Someone pointed out, they said like 80% of the players in last night's game had ties to
the Raptors,
our organization, including Doug Christie.
Yeah.
Taking teams like when players play for Toronto, they get no love. They sort of get underlooked. I said before that they view us as the bar of the league, and then the moment these guys end up stateside, it's like, oh, he's arrived. He's finally, like, you know what I mean? Like, look at OG.
OG is the best example, yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of guys are getting boosts when they go. Like even Fred. Fred is a key player. Like he was key with us. I think he got boosted. Like Houston loved him. Like they added some spice to his name when he came. It's like, we got Fred. Like, you know what I mean? But they weren't giving him that love when he had a Raptors love jersey on. You know what I mean?
Well, that Fred actually talking about this phenomena on the Unguarded podcast. He's talking about, like, look, he said that when you're basically, he said there's politics in the NBA and they will hold you back. And, you know, to get anything, he didn't say this specifically, but he was inferring this, that, you know, being a Raptor is hard to route to get those things because of the politics of the NBA. And part of it is the marketing. They really do look at it as like Raptors are marketed across Canada, so we don't have to market them at all in the United States, which absolutely is not fair, because most of the decisions and the perception about the NBA centers from the United States, not from Canada. And from cutting us off and saying, well, you guys have NBA Canada and you can market the hell out of the you know, in some ways that's part of the reason why they do it, is because they feel like we have a business advantage because we have a bigger territory to work with for our fan base. And they all have them, you know, some of it is even by city. There's 2 teams in LA. So they like, where's their territory and stuff like that. So they're trying to hurt us because in some ways they know that the Raptors brand is strong regardless, and that they don't want to put us on blast. But it's politics, man. It's politics, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love all the Raptor connections last night. I mean, obviously, if you can say 80% of the people involved last night, well, everybody who's on the Raptors is 50%, right? So you're saying 30% of the Kings have Raptors ties.
Yeah, because it was what Christie,
Jay Triano, Dennis, DeMar. Yeah, there's a lot of connections over on that side for sure. And in some ways that makes me like their team more. Like I want the Kings to do better, even though I don't like their owner. He's kind of a goof. But otherwise, like, you know, DeMar, I'm always rooting for DeMar. I'm rooting for Precious. I'm rooting for Dennis. Doug Christie, I guess I can be honoring him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard last night, quarter three. So, yo, did you hear last night where the announcer called Scottie? He's sort of a poor man's Draymond.
We talked about this just now with Infamous. He had it on his call. Mark Jones, the brother of Paul Jones, said that, and I feel like that's such a travesty. A man from Toronto said this. You all right?
Yeah, that makes it even worse. He should know his history. He should know what he's talking about.
Well, like Infamous said, this is the same person that coined the phrase LeBronto. So he's a hater and he's a turncoat and he's a traitor. And Mark Jones, 2-finger salute to you today for underselling Scottie Barnes like that. Yeah, it's a joke. He was saying all kinds of dumb shit the whole game. Honestly, whole game.
He's missing all of like the family meetings in the city. That he's not coming back home if he's talking.
No, he
like
does
that.
sometimes. That's the thing. That's the sad thing, is that he does come through and spends time with Paul and the Jones family centered here in Toronto. He still does come through sometimes, but he's hidden his Canadian like connections his whole life. I was saying to Infamous, I used to watch him on TV in the 90s, and I never knew he was Canadian until I found out he was Paul Jones's brother, like 15 years after I seen him on TV. And then I heard him do an interview with Paul talking about growing up in the west side of Toronto as kids and what they used to like to do. They like to go get food at the Jamaican restaurant and run around, be kids up and down the street. I'm just like, man, you lost it, bro. You lost your Canada card. I'm just like, fuck you, bro. And then like the other thing, I'll piggyback off this. I saw a clip on YouTube of the Peacock guy, or not. Is it Peacock they're with? I don't know. Whichever one Vince is on with Carmelo. I don't care. It's like NBC, I guess. It's Peacock, right? And they had a panel of the host with Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh, of all people. So they got 2 former franchise leaders for the Raptors sitting on a stage, and they're breaking down the game against us and the Warriors. And all they talk about, the whole segment, is Jonathan Kuminga. And they didn't win. The Warriors didn't win, Vince, Chris, and Carmelo. And instead of talking about the historic performance of Emmanuel Quickley, They totally ignored that. And they just focused completely on Jonathan Kuminga's situation and all the bullshit around him and him being benched and finally playing again. And I was like, dude, y'all are such haters. You just seen somebody who wore a jersey that y'all used to wear get a historic night that is like not been duplicated ever. Nobody's ever done what Emmanuel did a couple nights ago. He did shit that like Wilt Chamberlain did. And these motherfuckers, they got two former very important Raptors turncoats up there fucking ignoring that shit on their broadcast. I'm just like, what is this, man? What is this, man?
It's deep, and I think like even when they went in, like I think was it Tracy McGrady and Vince, they purchased the Bills.
Yeah,
I think when they did that, they thought they were like getting an ups on us for that. Like doing that, they're like, oh, people from Toronto are gonna love us for getting this team. Like that's not our team. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. I don't know. There might be a lot of Buffalo Bills fans in Toronto, but that's not our team.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
Toronto has a varied NFL like fan base around here. I mean, I'd say a higher percentage of any team is following the Bills and caring about them here, but there's going to be people here that like the Steelers, the Ravens, the Cowboys, the 49ers.
Giants fan. I was a Giants fan. So.
Yeah, I mean, Kareem's a Broncos fan, so it's like, you know, there's a lot of different people having fandom and stuff like. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a weird, like it was a situation that was offered to them to be part of ownership of a sports team, and they jumped on it. But I also thought it was some sort of weird peddling to favor with sports fans in Toronto, and specifically coinciding with Vince's jersey retirement. So, yeah, fourth quarter.
So I'm gonna get on a touchy subject here. What's your thoughts after hearing Carney's speech and Trump's speech over there in what's it called, Davos? I think they're in Switzerland.
Yeah, Davos is the country, is the city in Switzerland that we went to. Man, somebody's trying to call in. I don't know who it is. We already got somebody on the line. Maybe it's a Vinay call. I would basically say this is like night and day, the two speeches. You got a real world leader showing real leadership and showing clear, concise like ideas for the future and trying to improve things and a game plan. And then you got a deranged old crazy racist piece of shit that's talking out of his ass. Calling, you know, the crazy thing is in that speech, he said he can't. Why is everybody mad at me about Iceland, bro? You've been talking about Greenland. Tell me you have Alzheimer's and you're senile as fuck without actually just telling us all this, because he's screwing up left and right. He's a joke. And the United States needs to invoke the 25th Amendment as soon as possible. And even if JD Vance is in charge, at least it won't be this blithering idiot who's absolutely has his brain melting right in front of the world right now. So, yeah, he's an idiot. And the United States is a deranged, fucked up country right now with him leading it. I give my heart and my support to all the people in the middle of this crazy ass situation, the real Americans, the good people that did not ask for this. I'm on your side, but we're all together and we need to stop this MAGA bullshit because it's getting out of control and it's so crazy and dark. The thing that happened yesterday is that they made a new rule, and this is what fascism is, that warrants are not necessary for ICE to enter people's houses at this point. That they can just barge into people's houses and they don't need a judge's warrant at this point. So you just go ahead and tell me lawlessness, mafioso kind of bullshit is running the United States right now. And they're taking little kids from the street yesterday too. Little kids, they're like 5 years old, and shipping them off to Texas. And one of the things, you know, this is the thing they tell on themselves when they accuse other people of other things. And what was QAnon so upset about? They were upset about pedophile rings and trafficking children. Well, this is what ICE is doing. They're taking immigrants' children, and who knows what the fuck they're doing with it when you got a pedophile in chief called Donald Trump, who's buddies with Epstein, and they're taking all these children, immigrant children. What do you think they're doing with them? It's disgusting. It's most the evil, fucked up shit because there's kids getting taken from parents, and who knows what the fuck happens to them. And there's also a lot of worries that people are getting killed behind the scenes and they're not being accounted for because they're just taking them in there. So it's a full-on Auschwitz kind of concentration camp bullshit going on in the United States with illegal immigrants and even U.S. citizens to a degree going on down there. So it's a messed up country, man. And the United States people are getting in the streets today in Minnesota. Good. Keep doing this and keep fighting. And all the politicians are kowtowing to this shit. You're fucking pieces of shit. And you need to do your job and make the health of the United States back to better, because you're doing irreparable damage to your world reputation. And this is not going to be easy to fix. Biden did a good job for 4 years trying to fix the first mess that Trump left. And this second mess is like 1,000 times worse than the first administration of that fucking cheating, lying piece of shit, pussy grabbing motherfucker who's absolutely never been a legitimate president because he stole both the elections in 2016. He stole that shit from Clinton, and he stole that shit from Kamala too. Don't believe that he got more votes than them. That's absolutely a fucking lie. They manipulated, and the powers that be, the billionaire oligarchs, put him in that spot to cause confusion and to suit their needs and what they want in the New World Order. And everybody that thinks that he is a legitimate president, you're fucking idiots. You're idiots. He did not get the votes to beat Kamala. Elon rigged the election that year. And we should have never, ever had this piece of shit reality TV show host running the United States.
So, yo, Lex, you know how they're talking about FIFA might get canceled due to the whole
they'll move them up here. They'll move them here, and they'll move them to Mexico. And they should have been moving towards doing this the whole time. The World Cup, they shouldn't be playing games in the United States. It's not safe for people to go to that country right now. People can be walking down the street and they look like they're Mexican or immigrant. They will come and take them without asking questions first or checking. They'll just take their asses. And what kind of like PR is that for the rest of the world? Come to the World Cup where the world comes and watches soccer. Yeah, but if you look like a brown person, we're going to fucking take you in a van somewhere and we're going to hold you for a while and you don't even know. We're doing it to our own citizens. Why wouldn't we do it to you, you foreigners? You know, that's the shit they're doing with their bullshit. So
okay, so we see it with soccer, right? With like this, there's that whole controversy with the World Cup going on. We see it with football because you see the controversy with the halftime show with they're talking about should they have, I think his name's Bad Bunny. I don't know.
Oh, that's just racism. They don't want him to perform at the Super Bowl halftime.
Yeah. So do you think we'll see something like that with basketball? Like, when's the next Olympics come up? Like Summer Olympics? Do you know when the next Summer Olympics?
There's the Winter Olympics that's coming up, like in the next couple months. The Winter Olympics are going down. And I don't know where they're holding them. They're not having them in the United States, though. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that, you know, because there's a lot of people that want to like, you know, there's different ways people are trying to boycott the states in different ways. And, you know, anyway, I don't want to go too far on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just don't want it to spill into basketball. Like, I don't care.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. The Raptors are a canary in the coal mine. The tempo also, really, the tempo may be the first canary in the coal mine. Because, look, if there's any kind of things that go sideways with the United States and Canada, how the fuck are the Raptors and the tempo supposed to operate? Like, we have to think about this. There could be some really crazy implications where forget about the pandemic and the confusion of having to play in Tampa and the border being closed. What happens if Trump is stupid enough to cause a war because he invades Greenland? What happens at that point? We have to realistically think about this.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
And in some ways, basketball won't be important in any kind of way at that point, and everything's out the window. So in some ways, the Raptors do need to play like there's no tomorrow right now, because who knows? Who fucking knows how quickly all this crazy shit can go down and everything can change? I don't want any of this. I want saner heads to prevail, and I do have some faith that the big corporations and companies don't want to fuck up their bottom line by having stoppages of things and things going south. Does Adam Silver want the NBA schedule and the season to get fucked up and the Raptors place in it because of a conflict? No. So if there's any puppet masters controlling Trump and their bullshit, maybe they will be like, no, you're bad for business. We can't do this. You're crazy. No, we can't do this. You're absolutely hurting our business right now with this. So I would like to hope, in some ways, if the corporations are running this world, they're going to stop the fucking shit that's going to be bad for them if it's all out war like that.
So, I think his words are eating because the oil, they need the oil for the war because that's what pushes the submarines, the planes, the tanks.
It's not oil in Greenland. It's minerals. It's minerals. They want the rare minerals because the next part is chips and having different things for like technology. The oil is dying. And in fact, Carney opening up Chinese EVs here in Canada is going to kill oil even more. Watch. because more and more people here are buying oil cars, fossil fuel cars still. But Carney's saying, fuck that. We're going green because y'all are fucking with us. And elbows up, bitch. And we're going to go ahead and make a deal with China so that we'll take their cheap electric cars that they've been running over there and getting better green things. That's a good thing. Because in some ways, Carney bringing in the electric cars from China will hurt the fossil fuel industry, and it'll move Canada towards more green energy and people getting vehicles that they can drive that don't need gas. So, yeah.
Well, y'all, I'm gonna jump off. Y'all get,
all right, man.
Get back to the ball talk because I don't want to kill y'all with the politics.
Yeah, I know it's all right. You're a bona fide, long-time Raptor freak enough to be able to get this card to play sometimes. So, I appreciate the call, Seymour. I hope you get some shots up in the warehouse. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, sir. The City Slicker.
Y'all stay safe out there. Let's get some more wins.
Yeah, we got to win now because there's no guarantee for tomorrow. That's right. Seymour, wow, 2 in a row right there. If somebody else was calling me during that call, you got to wait your turn. And you can call me back if you want. If it's Vinay, don't call me back. Okay? I don't want to hear it. Fiercely saying, funny seeing so many Raptors alumni on the other side. DeMar, Precious, Dennis, Doug Christie, Jay Triano. Yeah. Bryce is saying, I think Grady is simply getting stronger. That can mess up a shooter's shot. I think this summer is really going to be big for Grady. Man, I'm worried for him. This is the thing. He's not going to get the contract extension on his rookie deal like he would have if he had played like amazing this year. It's just not – Bobby's not going to put that investment in him if it's like this. He's going to have to figure this out and sort it out. In some ways, Grady's value in his contract is not good because he's been bad this year. So we'll have to figure it out. What level will it be, his next contract, ever his rookie contract? We'll just have to see. I'll have to see if it's with the Raptors even, because they could let him go, man. They could let him go. Smooth saying, I can't stand him. Imagine dumping on the city where you're born. That's why I don't respect him. Yeah, I don't respect Mark Jones either. In some ways, it's like, it's not even like a nationalism thing. It's just like, dude, you're an asshole, man. You're an asshole, bro. He's definitely not for the Raptors. Let's just put it that way. And in some ways, I would think like, calling a game between Sacramento and Toronto, he'd kind of have a little bit of affinity for his hometown, but he doesn't. He really doesn't. He's been gone from Canada for so long. I think he hasn't been really ever lived in Canada since like the 80s, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's a while. All right, we are going to get another call. Let's just see who this is. Good morning, caller. You're on the Raptor Freak Show.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Kareem. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, KT? It is the butt dialer. What's up, man?
It is. Not much, man. I wanted to talk about the game, but Seymour got me into like all that politics shit. I'm so fucking pissed off what's happening across the border there. But let's not touch on that because there's we could just go down a hole and be talking about that forever.
Sure. So, I think we got our quota. You're allowed to express your opinion as you wish, but let's focus on the game. Why not?
You know what? Like yesterday, I was so impressed. The Raptors, they started off strong, and then obviously Sacramento hit us with the zone, and you've seen what happened. We got down by 10 or 12 or something like that. But then, I'm a football guy, so football is all about adjustments. I know basketball it is as well,
mm-hmm.
but every single play, football is always about adjustments. And what Darko did at halftime, he adjusted, and Sacramento had no fucking answer.
Nope.
And that's what I loved about it. They kept on attacking and attacking. Yes, Shed and Mamu, they kept Sacramento honest because those guys were actually hitting threes.
Yeah.
But they just kept on attacking, and I loved when quickly has that burst. He has a certain speed that nobody can fucking touch.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen him use it for the whole year almost. But yesterday I seen him. He was actually moving it, and he was moving quickly. As soon as he got that ball off the rim, he was pushing every single time.
And did you notice he just like Scottie was able to maneuver in certain ways to do what he wanted to do, Emmanuel was able to get around people and get into the lane pretty consistently, getting past people.
Exactly. Emmanuel quickly could do that all the time, but it works to our benefit if we're running, right? But even when we were slowing it down, they didn't have a big guy. They had that one big guy, his name is Caldwell or something like that.
Cardwell, yeah.
Yeah. I said in the Discord, he seems like kind of an asshole, but I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like that little that arrogance sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
you and Blake Murphy liked him, and Doug Smith and I were kind of like, okay, he's young and immature. That's what we thought.
Yeah. Well, you know that one block he had, he did like the goggles.
Yeah.
Down by like fucking 15. What are you doing, bro? You know what I mean?
Well, you saw what they did to him after the game, and it's funny because I mean, I'll do the Instagram stories in a little bit, but the Raptors admin clowned him for that. They put that picture of him with the goggles up and big L over his head, like on yeah, which was awesome. I love that.
I didn't understand his, like, I don't understand what's going on, but I was like, at the same time thinking, like, if we need a big guy and like, you know,
well, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's a rookie, and they like him. Like one thing is like y'all, we gotta stop thinking we can get rookie contract people. Because seriously, it's like you don't get rookies. Rookies are the value on that team unless they really don't work out and they got to go somewhere else. But he's working out. I didn't even hear of this guy before. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's like throwing his weight around and acting all cocky and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're a nobody. How can you do this? Right. And it's not like he scored any points last night, but he did get a ton of rebounds and some blocks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was their lone enforcer, and he's a fucking rookie. I didn't even know he's a rookie till you just told me.
I thought that he was like somebody that like had been in the league for a couple years, and I just didn't know he was. He's like blowing up in his second or third year, but he's a rookie, and I don't remember him getting drafted. That's the other thing. Do you remember him being in the draft?
Exactly. So that's a guy to look out for. Obviously, we can't, like, I didn't know he was a rookie, but obviously he's on the rookie contract, so Sacramento has all the rights to him. But
he's value, obviously. If they got him from out of nowhere, like Jamison Battle for us, it's like, this is a valuable commodity for them, especially if he's giving that kind of impact, like running down the court. I thought he fell down that one point, and he was late coming back, and he blocked the hell out of Shed and did the goggles then. And I was like, man, like this dude is annoying. Like he's so cocky and talking, but I listened to his post-game interview after the game, and he was very humble. He's saying, I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm so happy I'm in the NBA, and this is just a way that my joy of being in the NBA. I know this isn't guaranteed and could go away tomorrow. This is just my expression of joy of playing the game and competing is what he was doing out there. That's what he said.
Awesome. That is awesome because you know what that actually just brings everything full circle. Because like I thought like he was super cocky, but honestly he's just living it in the moment. He's living the stream, right?
And when I watched his interview, I found that he was actually kind of humble. It's just that on the court he's playing as a competitor, and he's emotive, and he's doing stuff like goggles and talking trash and stuff like that. I'm like, man, maybe you don't have that weight to throw around that much yet. But, you know, when you block people, you know, you do get to talk some shit.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Grady's shot.
Yeah.
So yesterday in the Discord, I was saying he has a C shot. And it's like a fucking.
You were calling it like it's like a Bill Lambier, like it's like a flip, like over your head kind of shot.
Yeah. So exactly. So what I learned, like I actually learned this in like grade 7 or something like that, playing basketball, is once that ball goes behind your head, you lose the trajectory. You lose the aim, and the only way you're going to hit shots like that is if you're dead on right from the top of the circle.
Interesting.
Because as soon as that ball goes behind your head, all you could do is think it's going to go straight, and it's going to be a low trajectory. You can never like throw that unless you're Chris Boucher, right? So I don't know, like maybe Grady took something from Chris Boucher last year or something like that. I don't know, but he needs to work on his shot. Keep it in front of his head, maybe like kind of release it at the top, like where his crown is or something like that, just somewhere there. But he's getting it way too far behind his head.
You know what? Right? What? You just inspired me to realize one of the things Grady's not doing right with his shot is his follow through too.
Yeah.
He's not putting his finger through to point to where he wants to go. He's just flipping it and putting his arms down. Jamison's pretty good about doing his follow through still. Like where that is a big part of being a good shooter. Is like have your follow through, get your arm all the way extended to where you want to go, and don't just drop it. Keep it there for a second, and then because I feel like he's slinging too much. I feel like Grady is slinging, and that's why it's kind of hitting around on the rim and going up and like this and stuff like that. Like maybe that's another thing he needs to remember is like do your follow through, Grady. Like. Yeah. I don't know. Anything we could do to help him is like we got to do it, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of happy. Like you know what? Like his shots are not going down straight up, flat up. It's not fucking working out for him. So I'm glad he's trying to implement other things. you know, like he could just do a simple pump fake and just attack the rim and draw a foul. Like, you know, again, like the whole inside out, working inside out, it does work for him, right? So I hope he just continues to maintain that mentality and then still try to shoot. Because he went 1 for 6 yesterday, 1 for 5 or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just hoping. God damn, his defense is horrendous, man.
I know.
It's like watching fucking.
Well, him
like
trying to guard DeRozan last night was a joke. Him trying to guard Westbrook last night was a joke. And
yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like Westbrook is 37 years old, and he's beating people off the first step. Like he did it to Quickly and Shed a couple times too. Now he's not a great finisher, and I don't know what the fuck is going on through his head sometimes. But he still has that first step.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I'm loving the vibe right now. We're together and we're making things work with all the injuries. I'm just hoping when people start to come back, I hope that the transition is just as smooth. I don't want working yak in and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing anymore. Like I want everybody. I just want everybody to plug in, plug out, just how we've been doing, right?
I think that Darko's really smart about doing this deliberately and safely when he integrates people back from injury. You know, he's done a good job, and like it's a lot more smoother because there is a lot of coming in and out of the lineup with our team.
Yeah.
And we have had the most injured part of our year this past month. And I would say this, that, you know, for the month of January, we win one more game out of these last 4 games in January. We have a winning record for January. And that says something considering we did not have Yak the whole entire month. We have not really had RJ the whole entire month. We've been missing Jacoby for a good chunk, and Colin's been out more recently too. So considering that and like this has been a tough month with a West Coast road trip in the middle of it too. This is pretty impressive that the Raptors continue to win without a center.
Exactly. We're playing small ball. Like I love it. Oh my God. Like honestly, I love Scottie Barnes. I love Brandon Ingram, but man, I love watching fucking Colin Murray-Boyles play. I love his game. He works on both ends of the court as like he's awesome. He's amazing to watch. Like I love watching him. Like he's doing everything. Absolutely everything.
Well, he's definitely a great young prospect coming up, and there's so much more he's going to learn and get better through. Trust me. Yeah. All right, Kareem, one last point before I say let you go today.
Yeah. Make sure you hug somebody, kiss them, tell them you love them. You know what? Like this actually does matter. My father passed away December 5th last year, so like I never got a chance to tell him I love him. Like I always like say, "See you later, Dad," and shit like that. But again, like just continue to hug somebody. If you know somebody's going through something, just give them a call and just talk with them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
If there's darkness in this world, let's be the love and the light. And let's be that, because the more we're that in this world, each and every one of us, the more that will be the world. Because there is some really shady, messed up stuff happening, and we do need to come together, and we do need to, you know, fight bad with good, because that's the best way to do it. All right, Kareem, I appreciate you, man.
All right, you guys take care.
Yeah, man. All right, three-time dunk champion. Let's go, Raptors. KT in the house. Wow, calling us from the west side in Mississauga. That's right. Wow. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, G saying, correction, Scottie is a rich man, Scottie Barnes. Exactly. G, I'm going to give you a dunk for that one. And I'm going to give a dunk to our callers in just now, too. G, you're going to get a dunk. You're at the RJ9. And we'll give Kareem a dunk for calling me just now. He's at the Amir Johnson 15. And Seymour's going to get a dunk also for calling in from Alberta. He's at Anthony Parker 18. All right, cool. All right, let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good morning, Shaq Lindsay. And this is what he's saying this morning. He is saying, hang on, let me make sure I don't skip any comments. Where is that one? I jumped ahead and now I got to find out where it is. There it is. Dick's preparation is horrible, and it's only going to get worse when RJ and Jacoby come back. I'm just like, look, you sink or swim in this league, man. And in some ways, it's like, look, you gotta play to your hustling talents. In some ways, I feel like Grady is not. I feel like he's lost some of the muscle he's had because he's just so like you got to run up and down the court and you're gonna burn like your body. And like that's what I'm saying. Like if you have high metabolism and you're naturally a skinny guy, it's gonna be really super hard to hold on to that weight and muscle because the NBA is frenetic and crazy. And just to keep up your body weight all season is really tough. Pascal Siakam had struggles with this when he was a Raptor back in the day. It's really hard for him to keep weight on him. He'd come into the season and he'd weigh like 250 or something crazy. And then he like by the end of the season, he's like 220 or something like that. He loses like 30 pounds over the season. It's crazy. So I feel like in some ways, I don't know. Grady is such a complicated thing right now in the Raptors world right now. All right, I feel like I have like 5 different segments I should do right now. So I'm just going to start marking them off. The stars of the game for last night. Scottie Barnes is the star of the game, and he got the chain last night, which was fantastic. Scottie, 32 minutes, 23 points on 8 of 17 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, made all 6 of his free throws, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers, 4 steals, and 1 block, +8. Those steals came late. And did you see Scottie kind of hovering around when the Kings would try and pass it in a certain no man's land? He was jumping in there and just snatching it and taking the ball from them. There were a couple of cross-court passes where Scottie just got it, grabbed it, and took it, and we're running off in transition. So each of those 4 steals by Scott, and I think most of them were in the second half, in the third quarter, were absolutely catalysts for helping us win the game last night. In fact, the 4 steals may be the most important category on Scottie's stat list here. So yeah, 23 points is the he tied with Brandon for leading the team in scoring. My second star of the game is Sandro. Sandro started last night, which is fantastic. All 3 of the starters got double digits. I mean, all 5 of the starters got double digits, which was fantastic. Sandro, 32 minutes, 22 points, 8 of 14, fantastic shooting. He was dialed in from outside, 3 of 8. 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, a +15. So he was one of the highest plus minuses on the team. So Sandro's been energy. He's been huge baskets for us too. And just like Seymour said, when Sandro and Shed are making those threes, that really helps us a lot, right? I think it was Seymour who said that. I had a couple calls just now. My third star of the game is Brandon Ingram. Brandon's steady with his offense. I love the way he's methodical and slow. I see him improving from game to game. We see him branching out and doing more other things than just scoring. I see him tightening up and being more careful with the ball. He had no turnovers last night, guys. So there's a lot of good things to see with Brandon. He was hitting his 3 too also. So 35 minutes, 23 points, 7 of 15, 7 of 5 from 3. He made all 6 of his free throws. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 0 turnovers, a +13 for Brandon Ingram. And once again, we see Brandon in the fourth quarter when we need baskets to carry us home. And this is something the Raptors lacked in the past, was a take it home kind of player where the pressure's on and the defense is amped up and the other team is really trying to stop us. Well, it's great to have that ace up our sleeve, Mr. Brandon Ingram, who can go and get those baskets for us. It's so awesome. The fourth star of the game for me is Emmanuel. I felt like Emmanuel was fantastic last night. He came back with the same kind of aggressive energy that he had against the Warriors in his historic night. Except in hitting threes wasn't really a thing. He was doing a really good job with measured short shots and getting into lane and making them count. Like, why people got to understand he's a very capable offensive person. And like the caller said, his speed is really good. And these are part of the reasons why he's very valuable to be on the Raptors. You know, people that don't like quickly because of this or that, well, look at the benefits and the things that he does for us. Seriously. 36 minutes for a quick 18 points. He shot 50%, 6 of 12. So he shot better than a lot of the Raptors, 1 of 4 from 3. It wasn't really the 3-point line last night. It was more penetration and getting into lane and being smart about shooting shots around people and making them, and also getting some and ones even. 1 for 4 from 3, 5 of 5 at the free throw line. So there, you got your 3 top stars on the team, all perfect from the line, and a combined 17 of 17. And if you add that and stack it to the free throw shooting in the Warriors, man, this Raptors team is really taking their free throws serious. And they're being ultra professional there. 6 rebounds for Emmanuel as a point guard, 8 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, a plus 15. People are understanding like about the quick shed formation. Just, shed allows Manny to be more of a shooting guard and allows him to be more off ball and shoot and do the stuff he does. But also at the same time, there's looks throughout the game where it's just shed out there. And that's a whole kind of field for that unit. Whereas this look where it's just a manual out there, and that's a look for the whole that unit. But then you got when the quick shed is out there together, which is at the beginning of the game when Shed's starting, and Quickly and him are on the court at the end of the game for game management and smarts and playing in certain ways. It's fantastic, man. I really love the quick shed thing. And I feel like we need to value them together. It's even, I think it's even a better fit than Van Vliet and Lowry. Seriously. And we ran that starting backcourt for a while when we had those guys that we were starting Freddie and Kyle at the backcourt. And that was a small backup, a small team. But I think that Shed and Quickly complement each other more naturally than Fred and Kyle complemented each other. Seriously. Because there's a little bit more of a natural delineation about who is favoring into the 2 guard more and who is favoring into the classic traditional point guard. It's very easy to figure that out. At times with Lowry and Fred, it could be clouded. Both of them have the proclivity to go be combo guards and be the shooting guard. And, sometimes there were issues with Lowry and Van Vliet about who was going to be the point guard that night because both of them were trying to be combo guards. Well, that's a great thing about Shed being steady Sheddy is like he's going to be the point guard in the default more often than always, pretty much when it comes to him and Quick. So, yeah, that was awesome, man. And, we're going to make Shed the 5th star of the game. Shed 33 minutes, 15 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. That's the stat I really like, that he hit some key threes and shot pretty good. He was perfect from the line, also 2 of 2, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, a plus 13. Starters. It was all about the starters last night for the Raptors. The bench, Grady got 11. But other than that, the bench wasn't as much as a factor as the starting 5 of the Raptors that they put on the cart. Sandro, Scottie, Brandon, and Quickshed. The rest of the team, Jonathan, 23 minutes out there, struggled at times. He had a couple different issues at different times. He couldn't make any bunnies. He's right near the basket getting offensive rebounds, but it wouldn't go in. And, Jonathan's not Colin Murray-Boyles. That's a big difference right there. You can see that. Those offensive rebounds, if Colin's getting them, he's putting them back in. But I have to give Jonathan a lot of credit for being a great utility backups big for our team. In some ways, he really is kind of like what Precious would be on our team if he was on our team. 3 points for Jonathan, 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 1 turnover, and 1 block, a plus 2. I like Darko using his challenges to stand up for his guys, whether it was the challenge on the goaltending call on Jonathan or the challenge to keep Scottie in the game at the end of the game with the foul trouble, because they tried to foul out Scott last night and he used the challenge to save him. Good morning, Stargate. How are you?
How's it going, Lex?
I'm good, man. This is great. This may be a record. I've got 4 calls already today. We keep them coming. If you are thinking about calling me, Fiercey, or anybody else, you should call me too. And we'll go for a record here. Stargate, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm well.
Awesome, man. Good to hear from you. It's been a bit. So what would you like to talk about today?
I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and like just like yourself, I can't wait till this whole trade deadline thing ends.
Yeah,
because it's really annoying hearing all this stuff, and especially when it comes to Emmanuel Quickly. I really don't get the whole thing about not wanting Emmanuel Quickly on this team. I don't get it. I know that a lot of people, that are doing this online, it's basically an online thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
Right. And I know a lot of people, as you said it before, a lot of it is non-Raptor fans, from other teams.
It's subterfuge.
Yeah.
It's like, let's make noise. It's the weaponization of the trade deadline. And it used to be in the past, like in some ways, the trade deadline was weaponized by media, like the US media and even our own guys. Like they do cover the trade deadline in a weird way on TSN and Sportsnet with Lewinberg and those guys. But also, it's a whole other layer of the social media with Reddit and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything, just adding a whole other level of confusion and just bullshit. I think that the key is that a player has to be struggling or it has to look like they're not doing well from the outside. And when another team, like a Knicks fans watching the Raptors, and they see Emmanuel have a bad shooting game, they see that string and they want to pull it apart. And they were going to grab it and unravel the garment. And that's what this is. I feel like it's like when it quickly is not playing as best as he could, and he understands that they understand, our haters understand that our fans may be souring on him. They pour gasoline on the fire is basically what it is.
And what I want to tell our fans, if you're a real fan, right? Just like how you kind of, you kind of allude to it when you're talking your politics stuff. Be a free thinker. Stop listening to these other people. Like stop parroting. And even some of the Raptor Freak family do it. Stop parroting some of the nonsensical bullshit that you hear some of these people saying.
Yeah.
Right? It's like think for yourself. Look at what's happening. What exactly is wrong with Emmanuel Quickly? There's nothing wrong with him.
Not at all.
As terms of one of the excuses they're using, he's not a traditional point guard. Name one traditional point guard that's in the NBA right now. Name one.
Not many at all. And honestly, that's kind of that's a weird argument because in some ways the league demands you to be a combo guard to a degree to survive in it.
The only person that's closest right now to a traditional point guard and like a starting, right, is probably Josh Giddey. He's the only one.
Yeah, but he's like a hybrid even too, like where he's got that side and he's like a triple double guy and stuff like that. I wouldn't even think of him as a guard at times too. Like I know that they do run him that way, but he has forward size. And when he played for Oklahoma, he was kind of like a small forward at times, wasn't he? Because he is playing with Dort and SGA.
But he used to pass a lot. He kind of looked like a point guard a little bit. Right? I mean, he's not Chris Paul. Like Chris Paul probably is, the last of a time, right?
Well, what are these labels even? Are they just that you get these labels from what you do? You're a center. You block shot. You block shots. You're a center.
Yeah.
Is it because you get the most assists on the team? You're the point guard. You're the playmaker.
But regardless, what is he actually doing? Like this team right now is 8 games over 500.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is Emmanuel Quickly doing wrong? Please tell me.
Nothing. He's not. It's not. He's going to miss shots. He's going to have turnovers. That's what everybody in the NBA does. But you saw him get close to perfection a couple of nights ago. And this is the thing. He's a streak shooter. He's going to go through these times where he may not be offensively, but at least he's a small guard that rebounds. At least
every player does. Every player does.
Yeah.
Every player.
Yeah.
Every player.
Yeah.
Right. Every player has these bad games. Why are they honing in on Emmanuel Quickly like this?
Because I'm telling you, there's people out there wanting to pull strings and try and unravel things.
I don't get, and the team basically right now we're kind of riddled with injuries, and we're still winning.
Yep.
Like 8 games over 500, guys.
We're not only like riddled with injuries. We're going through ref hit jobs too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know how I feel about that. Don't even get me started with that.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started with
So Stargate, do you have another subject you want to talk on?
No, that's about it, man.
You just want to stop the IQ slander, and you're sick of the trade deadline, and you want it to pass, just like me.
Yeah. Like just lay off of him, man. Like come on, man. Like 8 games. Focus on 8 games over 500, guys.
Fourth in the East.
Fourth in the East. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Right? And let me say this is the last thing I'm going to say. Like, this team, without the personnel that's on this team, I don't think this team is 8 games over 500 without the specific personnel that we have on the team right now.
The nucleus, the team, the every ingredient of it is just, it all makes up the makeup, and in some ways, Emmanuel's a pillar in this,
including Darko.
Yep. And the other thing I want to remind people, piggybacking off Stargate's good news kind of vibe here, is we got 27 wins last night. How many wins did we get last year? 30. And we are not even to the All-Star break yet. And we're 3 wins away from our total last year. So wake up, Raptors fans, and get your head out of your ass.
All right, man.
All right, Stargate. Always a pleasure to hear from you, my guy. I hope you have a blessed, fantastic Thursday. And I hope that, and I look forward to the next time you call.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care, man.
All right, let's go Raptors. Awesome,
let's go
man.
Raptors.
Awesome, man. This is cool. We're getting a lot of opinions out here today, which is fantastic. Fantastic. All right, I'll keep going on the box score. AJ Lawson, 3 minutes appearance at the end of the game. 1 rebound, 1 turnover, -4. AJ's got to be digging, being on the road with the team, just like Elijah, and getting the chances to get out there. I forgot to mention this. Did you see AJ palling around with Luka the other night after the Lakers game as former teammates? Of course, AJ and him are close because they were both Mavericks. Oshai had the best plus-minus on the team last night on the down low, a +21 in 20 minutes, 4 points, 2 of 4 from the field, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. So not a bad bounce back game for Oshai after a dud the night before. And Grady Dick, both showing signs, but also infuriatingly annoying at the same time in the game. 19 minutes, 11 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 2 steals, a -12 for Grady. He had the worst plus-minus out of everybody. So, yeah, it's tough. Looking at the other side, like I said, DeMar DeRozan, only 9 points. He didn't even get a double digits. That's Scottie Barnes' work right there. And he had the worst plus-minus in the game, -23, DeMar DeRozan. Russell got 23 on 9 of 22 shooting. Not the most efficient. Precious, 5 of 6 for 11 and 8 rebounds and 1 assist. That's pretty good. Dennis off the bench, 16 points on 5 of 13 shooting, +9. So he had a winning factor in this game. And then that guy Cardwell we were talking about, 2 points with 13 rebounds and 4 blocks. So pretty interesting. Yeah, they ran a short rotation, the Kings. I thought that they could have dug deeper into literally got Doug and got him out there if they really wanted to. All right, man. Wow, we're going to number 5 here. This is Omari. Good morning, Omari.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pause the stream here. But yes, what's going on, my friend?
Not much, man. I'm just exhausted from the West Coast trip, but I got to do my grind, man. I understand what Norman says, and every morning 9:30 is my grind.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to help you beat some records here with these.
Nice, cool, man.
Calls. I heard about it, but I got a few things to say as well.
Sure.
First, since we're kind of on the topic of Grady Dick, yes, very infuriating, but you see so much good in Grady that you can't give up on him. But defense, atrocious. And the one thing that we count on him for, which is the 3-point shooting, I'm not too mad that he's not making the shots because everybody on the defense is still drawn to him. Right, the gravity that he requires is huge, right? So he's spacing the floor for everybody else. I don't want to give up on.
But are they respecting that at this point?
I believe they are. I think. Forgive me when I say this. When you see a white guy on the court, you space it, like you know what I mean. Like not to say like a white shooter like that, like. You just naturally, I think it's just the natural progression of the game to like, yeah, let's close out on him. He's probably going to hit a shot, right? And you still have to, because I think if you just left Grady in a gym by himself to take all the shots that he misses, he's going to hit them all, right? I just think right now with Grady, the game is, he's way too fast and out of control sometimes. And I'm still waiting for the game to slow down for Grady. So I think what we saw at the beginning of last year with Grady is who he can be and should be in the league, but there's just something off with him in turn. I think it's the speed of the game.
I don't know, man. I think it's a combination of like not getting the same chances as last year and also having a confidence dip. And
yeah, I agree with that because he started in those games where he was going.
He got a lot of chances, and I mean, he's gotten to start. He got to start the Warriors game, and he's still getting steady minutes. It's not like Darko's ever put him in the doghouse and never ever played him in a game. I think he's actually one of the few Raptors that's played every game this year. Yeah. So he's definitely getting the chances. It's just I wish he could. I don't know. It's going to be what it's going to be. We're just going to have to watch him.
Yeah. I just don't want to see him go somewhere else and be the guy
and
that
blow
we know
up
he is,
or something
right?
like that. Yeah.
Second thing, I just want to talk about the Sacramento Kings.
Sure.
Because they got a lot of pieces, like a whole bunch of pieces. Do you think let's just swap the entire Toronto Raptors roster, put it in Sacramento, and put the entire Sacramento roster in Toronto? How big of a difference does that make for a squad when you have Sabonis, you have Levine, you have DeRozan, you have Malik Monk, you have Schroeder?
So you're saying basically like we'll switch the teams but keep the coaches in the front office and the organizations and see what Darko would do with those guys instead of Doug Christie?
Well, I would even go as far as saying switching the coaches if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But I'm saying the environment of Toronto, I think we foster a winning mentality. Even when we don't have the right pieces and we're in a bad situation like maybe we've been in the last 3 years, everybody was hopeful. There was still a degree of,
we're professional and we're fighting out of it, and we're like making the steps in the right ways to build towards getting out of being a bottom of the standings team.
Exactly. You'll never see us like be Sacramento ever. So I'm saying like just switch it up. Everybody on Sacramento go to Toronto. Everybody on Toronto go to Sacramento. How good is Sacramento in Toronto, and how bad is Toronto in Sacramento? Because I think it's just that culture. Like
I couldn't agree with you to a degree, but I would think that part of it is like the team with the Raptors right now works. Like we fit. Like if you take the three guys that are the main guys, Barrett, Brandon, and Barnes, those guys work well together and they don't step on each other's toes. Now, if you take the three guys from the Kings, they don't really fit. That's the thing. This whole thing with the Kings right now is a team that doesn't make sense. I said earlier, in some ways, I feel like they've been collecting players that just have nowhere to go in the league right now for some reason. And they just wanted to, they went for as much talent as possible. The add-ons of Westbrook and Achua before the season started were just to bolster the team to have more talent to be able to compete. But those puzzle pieces are from different puzzles and they don't fit with each other. I think that's the biggest problem. And I don't think if we switch the teams, it would be any different. I think that the Raptors would have maybe a little bit better of a record over here with that team. And I would say that the Barnes-led team, if it was in Kings, they would probably still be pretty good. I think that I know what you're trying to say. And I would say this. I would say this.
Being a Sacramento King hurts your own feelings. It just makes you wake up in the morning.
Maybe in the past.
I want to play basketball.
The thing is weird. Like the Kings were like that in different periods. Like you could think about, let's go way back. Because honestly, it's a weird thing. Because like Russell broke the record with Oscar Robertson, the most points scored by a point guard, and they were celebrating that last night. And that you go way back to like the Kings with Oscar Robertson. And that's like, wow, that's impressive. That were pretty good. They were winning Kansas City, whatever. And then you get into the 80s, and they were pretty bad in the 80s. And then you get around a Mitch Richmond-led Kings, which was starting to show signs. And then all of a sudden you get into Peja, Chris Webber, Jason Williams Kings, and that they kind of got respected that point. And they were in the playoffs, and they got railroaded by the refs against the Lakers. And then they had this futility period from that period up until a couple of years ago. And they looked like they were getting things going where they're going to light the beam, right? They were lighting the beam a couple of years ago, right? But all those assets they had, whether it's Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, it's like they've fumbled. They're a bad front office. They don't know what they're freaking doing. Maybe the owner's an idiot. I don't know. But they don't know what they're doing. And they obviously, even the little bit of good stuff they had in recent years, they squandered it, and they've gotten to this point. And in some ways, it's crazy because the fans in Sacramento are amazing. They really love that team and they're very loyal to them. But I think they're just mismanaged. I think that team has just been poorly mismanaged. And I don't want to shake any of those guys, those former Raptors that are on that team, because they're all great individuals and great NBA players. It's just that situation there just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like they have too much duplication in their top players, which are basically three wings that are Westbrook, DeRozan, and Levine. And then, you know, it's they're a mess, man. I don't even know how to understand the Kings.
I hear you. Yeah. I just see so much talent over there. It's just like
there's a lot of talent on their team for sure.
Yeah, you get them out of Sacramento, they're probably playing a lot much.
They have older talent, and we have younger talent, and in some ways, we have more versatile talent that is different than each other. And that's part of the difference between the Raptors and the Kings right there too. So, yeah. Omar, you got another subject you want to talk about? Well, you got me on the phone.
Well, you kind of talked about management. Last point I had to make is I've never been one guy to talk about how much a man makes, how much money they're making. I want all these NBA players to make all the money that they can. But when it comes to our roster, and I still want them to make all the money they can, my only question about our roster is I love everybody on the team is how do you keep them all together when they make so much money? Like, I don't mind paying them the money. It's not my money to pay.
Yeah.
But like, how do we keep them all? Because I do, like, I'm not shitting on any of these players. I think they're all good, and we're finally hitting that stride. But how do you keep everybody now that we know we work together?
I think that there's a couple disconnects where fans aren't realistic or understanding about the salary cap because they see the numbers and the money, and they just think it's such a crazy amount of money, especially in today's world. I get that. But we've got to understand that the TV deals really enrich the league and the salary cap expands. And this is the thing. Bobby knows all this stuff, and he knows where it's projected to go to and what's possible in the next 10 years or so. And the thing I would say is this. The Raptors will try and stay under aprons while they're rebuilding up. But when they get closer and they want to strike towards a championship, they will open up the paychecks. Because they did this, like the Blue Jays did this in the 90s to get their 2 World Series with people like Dave Winfield and Jack Morris and Paul Molitor. They brought in so many huge like mercenaries. And then we can think about how the Raptors did that too with 2019. So when we get closer, I could actually see it going even bigger and going to get one more big name or something that is a splash to put us over the top to really compete for a championship. And if we're looking at the Jays and the trip to the World Series this last year, Ed Rogers, what did he do? He went ahead and he opened up the pocketbooks in this offseason, and he's making some big splashes with getting more guys instead of like, oh, we got the World Series. This is great. No, he looks like he's showing that he'll invest when his teams are close to getting something to put them over the top. So we run with how Bobby has to manage it now. But when we get closer to a realistic chance to win the Larry O'Brien again, I'm very sure we're going to open it up like that. Like, you know, I know a lot of people are saying, how can we keep RJ? How can we keep Emmanuel? How can we keep Jakob? How can we keep this all together? We can actually do it because
do they have to take a pay cut, or does the TV salaries just bump the salary cap so high that we can
keep it all underneath it? Yeah, that's more likely. And then the other thing is, I want to recognize this and tell everybody, like, look, our guys that get paid the most on our team are not making the crazy high amounts like some of these 50 million guys. Yeah. You know, Scottie may be making the closest to that, but Brandon is not making as much. And you know,
like 40.
You know, you got a team like the Celtics, and you got like 50 million going to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's 100 million of their salary cap right there. We're paying 30 million to IQ, 30 million to RJ, and then 30 million for Brandon. That's 3 players for 2 of their players. So there's a lot more of us fitting stuff in better because we don't have a big, huge, crazy like $50 million contract. Scottie's the closest that gets to that. So, you know, the money is so ridiculous and crazy. It's not like real to us because of real life.
Yeah. And I want them to get the most. It's just when it comes to structuring the team, just getting an understanding of how we can keep everyone together.
The one thing we have to always remind ourselves, Amari, is that we've got the capologist. We have probably the best GM in the league that understands the salary cap out of all the GMs, and that's Bobby Webster. This is absolutely one of his biggest strengths as a GM, as a front office person in the NBA. Because once again, I'll remind Raptors fans, Bobby Webster's first job in the NBA was in the head office. He worked there as a 23-year-old person in the head office. And what was his job? He was a capologist expert. And he went to all the NBA franchises as an NBA official, working for David Stern and then Adam Silver. That's how long ago this was. And he was teaching the GMs at that time how to do the cap. He was teaching the GMs the rules as a 23-year-old man in the NBA head office. So you're going to ask me, does this man understand the cap? Does this man understand the NBA and the trends and how the money's going to change over the years? Yes. He may understand better than almost every single other GM in this league. So we're in good hands. And that's part of the say, we say trust in Masai. We'll trust in Bobby too, because he knows how to balance the books to do it the right way for us. So
Fair enough.
yeah, man. So
yeah, man, that's all I gotta say. But you mentioned the Blue Jays. You know, we gotta say goodbye to Bo Bichette. He was a real one, except for when he was throwing balls into the first base stands.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, I have not followed the Blue Jays that much. I do know that the pairing of Bichette and Guerrero as legacy players in the MLB was nice. As sons of fathers. And, you know, think all good things come to an end at a certain time. I know a lot of people really were hoping he would come back to us, but I would argue this, you know, to me, I don't know how important Bo Bichette has been to the Blue Jays over the years, because I don't watch the Blue Jays. And to me, like, I get it. Wasn't he hurt a lot of the postseason, right? And he wasn't even available to them.
Yeah, he only came on. He was only available.
So would it be like this? It's more of a symbolic thing of him leaving than actually a thing that's actually going to really hurt the team overly too much?
A little bit of both, because he leads the major leagues in hitting. He's like 1, 2, 3, or 4.
So he's a good contact hitter that gets on base for your team.
He gets hits, right?
Well, like I said, I'm so Raptors and Toronto Raptors. I didn't watch the Blue Jays at all last year, even though they went all the way to the World Series. But that's probably because I was trying to help them win.
He's a good player, but his defense is atrocious. He's like Grady Dick.
Yeah, because I also get the feeling that everybody really wanted him to come back no matter what, and him not coming back there, everybody's just disappointed, and they see it kind of through Vlad Jr. too, because he really
we didn't want him back though.
Yeah,
you would always want him back because he's a homer, like he grew up in the system. But I think we have enough hitting that we can make it to the World Series without him. We did kind of.
We got a really good pitcher just in the offseason already too. Got Dylan or something, right?
Yeah, I forget his name. But
yeah. All right, Amari. One last point, or can I let you go?
That's it, man.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing the right thing. Stay strong, and I'm always wishing the best things for you and blessings coming towards your way, Amari Parsons.
Thanks, my guy. Take it easy.
All right, let's go Raptors. Awesome, man. That's the 5th call today. Wow, that is a record already. If we get one more, that'll be 6. All right, let's see. Team stats for the game last night. The Raptors did shoot worse than the Kings and still beat them. We got 13 threes to their 9. The free throws have been fantastic. Raptors keep shooting the free throws like this professional level, 92%, missing only 2 free throws out of 25. So if I do the math, they were 45 out of 47 in the last 2 nights at the free throw line, guys. 45 of 47. You double that up, that's like over 90% from the free throw line as a team, not an individual. That's fantastic. They out-rebounded them by 2, 47 to 45. The assist to turnover ratio, 3-1 for the Raptors, 30-11. And there's a evidence of Mark Jones not knowing what he's talking about. Him and the lady who were calling the game saying the Raptors turn the ball over all the time. You're lying. We do not. They said because we play up and down so much, we turn the ball over a lot. And that's absolutely not true. It just shows that they don't know what they're fucking talking about. 25-16 is the assist to turnover ratio for the Kings. Not as 11 steals for the Raptors last night, including the 4 by Scottie. Fast break points. We did get out on the break a bit, 22 fast break points. And the points in the paint, they got 2 more than us, but very close. And yeah, percent led in the game, 53% of the game was led by the Raptors. And our highest lead was 19. Yeah, fantastic, man. This is going to be a Lexathon, even though I'm so tired. This is going to be a Lexathon, man. All right, let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying Dick's preparation is horrible. Okay, I read that one. Smooth saying Luka's been hurt. Can't do what he does right now. Shoots more threes. Okay. Trevor J saying Sacramento Kings had a good plan for Quickly last night. They saw what he did the night before, so they had to shut him down from the three-point line. Yeah, what did Quick go? He went and penetrated the lane and made good things happen in there, whether it's his own shot or getting the ball to other people. Yeah, it was good. G saying Scottie, he felt like a gazelle. Yeah, he's been out there really running and hustling and getting up and down the court. These guys are not lazy. They're definitely putting in the work. And Scottie's being such a swooping kind of guy. Like, you know, he's dangerous on the break. Nobody's going to try and get in your way, Scott. So you just go ahead and go to the basket, my guy. I find that the Raptors sometimes overpass still, and they need to take the shot sooner, and they're passing the ball around way too much sometimes. It's crazy, man. Smooth saying, still don't know why Doug Christie is an NBA head coach. Well, he's done his time as an assistant in that team, and it's just his chance to be in that seat right now. And you know, he's not a bad coach. I mean, I got to stand up for Doug to a degree because he is a Raptors alumni and somewhat of a low-key Raptors legend. But yeah, I mean, he does seem like he's been under fire, and he could possibly get fired this year. He could get fired, sure. Yeah, he could get fired. G saying DeMar looks so sad and even mad. He doesn't look happy. Well, DeMar may get some things going his way soon because, you know, there's a lot of trade rumors around him all of a sudden. And he is on the market to get traded. The Kings don't have any beholden to him. And, well, what if he's all of a sudden replacing Jimmy Butler on the Warriors and playing with Steph Curry and Draymond Green all of a sudden? That is something I've been hearing a lot in the last 2 days, the DeRozan rumor to Golden State. So we'll just have to see if that happens for him. Smooth saying, given that long-term deal to Dennis was stupid, DeMar signing stupid, Zach LaVine stupid. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to diss DeMar or Dennis. In some ways, it's like, look, the Kings do what they do, and just let them do what they do. Like Lindsay saying, with RJ, Jacoby, and calling out, Dick has no excuse. He's getting the minutes, although he's making a considerable effort on defense. Yeah, he's got to get his time in before it gets more crowded. All these guys, they're getting a chance right now. Jameson, Jonathan, these guys need to make an impression and do well for a favor for later. But it's inevitable. Colin will come back, Jacoby will come back, and RJ will come back, and this time will get sucked up. And yeah, Grady, in some ways, man, you got to start this week, and you're getting minutes. You got to make the best of them because you're a guy off the team at this point. You're a guy off the bench at this point, and you have to be instant offense off the bench. That means hit your threes. Westbrook, stupid, just an awful team. We're not like them. That's a good thing. Reggie making an allusion to the joke, just to the thing that the owner said. Like we've noticed, ever since he said that team went downhill. He got all cocky. They were lighting the beam. Sacramento's doing all this and that, and they've just ran in the ground ever since then. Absolutely. Shaq Lindsay saying, who is that player at the center position for the Kings? Is he a G League call-up? If he doesn't make that team, I'm sure the Kings might need another mascot or cheerleader. He has been on the Kings G League team. Yeah, he's played for them in the G League too, I bet. For sure. Cardwell. Stargate saying this at Smooth, 100% agree. They're a terribly constructed team. No chemistry at all. Yeah, they just don't have pieces that go right with each other, and they do have deficiencies that aren't filled. That's part of it. Shaq Lindsay saying Darko is the player of the game for finally figuring out beating the zone. That's interesting. Smooth saying, I read a report that Michael Jordan is no longer with NBC. Interesting. He came in and got that bag, and he decided, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. Interesting. That's interesting. G saying, a bit off topic, but LaMelo came off the bench for the Hornets to go 1 for 15 and 0 for 10 from 3. That is off topic. I don't know what to say to that. Shaq Lindsay saying, stop comparing Scottie with Draymond. Magic is the comparison. Yeah, Magic Johnson is the more fair comparison to Scottie. And once again, I'll say the 3 comparisons I give Scottie the most are his passing abilities, Magic, his offense with his turnarounds and his mid-range, Kawhi, and then his team defense and the way he's playing as a team defender with everybody, Tim Duncan. Those are the 3 combinations that I see in Scottie, those 3 players. And people can laugh at me. They've been laughing at me. And I said this for 4 years now, but it's coming more and more true as time goes on. The Magic Johnson part was easy to see from the start, but the Kawhi stuff is very evident now. And the Tim Duncan stuff is underlying, and people will see it if they really look between the lines and see just how much of a help team defender. Mark Jones described him as a free safety last night. that Scottie plays defense like he's a free safety on a football field, where he's just roaming and he's doing whatever he needs to do to shit disturb in whatever part of where. Yeah, G saying, to me, Scottie is a hybrid of Kawhi, Magic, and Giannis. So that's a little different. When he attacks the net, he's his own unique player, and Mark Jones is a clown. That's right, G. That's right. Chad Lindsay saying, refs in the NBA try to beat us with a king, but we pull the ace out of our sleeve. Scottie, I like that. Chad Lindsay, you want to dunk. I like those funny little, like when you say something like it sounds like good smack talking. Yeah, they tried to beat us with the king, but we pulled an ace. I love it, man. All right, you're at 21, my guy. Wow, you got the 21 at this point. Wow, that's the Thad Young 21. Let's see. Kesper's here. Good to see the fact checker. The Scottie Draymond comparison's just gimmicky. Typical American media trying to tell people what they want to hear to milk buzz. He's Canadian, though. And I think that anybody who compares any player to Draymond at this point is just lazy with comparison. Draymond's been so tiredly compared to people over and over again, left and right, all over the place. It's such a lazy comparison person. They might even be dumbing down our players' values so they'd be easier to trade for when our backs are against the wall. Heck, it looked like it worked with the Pascal trade, but we bounced back for it. You know, that's the thing. The Siakam trade, we revisit it and we actually think about all the assets we got out of it. I mean, Brandon is part of that. I mean, we kind of flipped Pascal into being Brandon, and that's pretty impressive, honestly, if you think about it, because Siakam's knock was he wasn't going to carry us late in the game, and now we got a guy who will carry us late in the game. So somehow, some way, through all the moves around the Siakam trade with Indiana, it eventually got us to Brandon. And the other thing I like to tell people is that, you know, they drafted in the same year, and we got Siakam late in the first round, and Brandon was like a top 5 pick, like a second pick in the draft. So, I mean, people can say whatever they want about the Siakam trade, but Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri finagled that into Brandon Ingram and other stuff along with it on the sides too. So it's like, anybody who says the Siakam trade was a fail, they're casuals, and they don't understand the trade tree that came from Siakam and just how it led to Ingram being on our team. Because that is exactly, I mean, that's Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown in the pick and all that stuff. That's what we got for Siakam, basically, right? So we turned that into Brandon. So it's like you could almost say that we traded Siakam straight up for Brandon Ingram. That's not bad. That's not a bad trade, is it? That's not a bad trade. And I think you're right, Kesper, that they'll dumb down the value on our players so that they're easier to get from the trade market and stuff like that. I think you're exactly right. That's part of the ploy too. Shag Lindsay saying New York took their frustration out on those kids from the block. Damn, Brooklyn. That's what I was saying. I said it yesterday. And, you know, Nako tried to say that the worst team in the league was a certain team. And I was like, no way, man. It's not that team. It's Brooklyn. And, well, Brooklyn proved that last night by having the worst loss of the season. It was like a 60-point loss, y'all. And they had the lowest point total of the year for any NBA team last night. Yeah, the Nets are the worst team in the league. They're overperforming and getting a higher win because of Jordy. But yeah, that team is bad. And it sucks because I don't want the Knicks to feel better. I was liking them being all shook and having infighting and problems. Yes, actually hoping that they'd be all shook and messed up still next Wednesday when they come to Toronto to play the Raptors at Scotiabank Arena. That's a game I'm really feeling like the Raptors need to win. It's tough because it's the first game back after a road trip, and that's always a trap game, and that's scheduled by the NBA because of that. They want us to lose the Knicks, so they give us the first game back at home, that game, and it's like only come in and play them, and then we go to Orlando immediately after that to play the Magic. So it's like a pit stop at home, and in some ways that's a game where you kind of, oh, I'm back home. I can put my bag down from a long West Coast road trip. We're playing the Knicks, and I'm just tired because I just got back. And, you know, I want to beat the Knicks next Wednesday. I really want to beat the Knicks next Wednesday. I don't want to get ahead because we got Portland on Friday and Oklahoma City on Sunday. But I want to beat the Knicks on next Wednesday. I really want to beat the Knicks. I do. Everyone's saying the Winter Olympics this year will be in what country? What country will they be in? Italy. That's good. That's a good country. That's safe, right? It's not the United States. That's good, right? That's good. Let's see. Where am I? Lost my place again. Holy crap, man. There's so many comments. It's gonna be hard for me to find it. We'll just have to see. Okay, this is around where I'm at right here. Kesper is saying Vince just being an employee when he does broadcasts. Yeah. Yeah, Vince Carter, where are you, man? Are you doing Sportsnet again this year? Has he done any games with Alvin and Matt? Has he? He promised us last year you come back and do the games, but no, you got the job with NBC and now you don't want to come in. You don't have time. I'm telling you, man, he did the things he did last year just to get what he got. That's what I'm saying. Infamous saying the Summer Olympics usually follow the Winter Olympics, which will be in Los Angeles. Yeah, they're not on the same pattern. They don't have them the same year. The Winter Olympics are this year, which is 2026, and the next Olympics will be 2028. So they're like every 2 years apart, and they're 4 years between and stuff. Yeah, Ken Ace here. Great win last night. Good to see you, Ken A. My turn. What? Smooth saying Draymond's reputation is more significant than his on-court play. Yeah, I think at this point it's just kind of the idea of Draymond and not the reality of Draymond on the court. I think it's the idea of him. Kesper saying Cardwell reminds me of Elijah Martin's behavior wise last night. It was funny. You mean in some ways you can give him a lot of credit for the enthusiasm and the passion, but it also sometimes it's a little cocky and it comes off a little crazy. And it's like, who are you, bro? Who even are you? It's like, kind of, who are you even? Reggie's saying, I know all about the glue factor, but let's be real here. He's playing with the best shooter in NBA history, Steph Curry. Had prime Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, etc. Oh, yeah. I truly believe Steph Curry helps Draymond be who he is. That Draymond doesn't get any of the accolades or anything like that. He looks good because he's been Steph Curry's teammate his whole career. For sure. For sure, Reggie. For sure. Has there been a more overrated player in history? A more manufactured villain for Dennis Rodman role in this league? Yeah. Yeah, manufactured. In some ways allowed to do things that other people aren't. And honestly, if other people were able to do what he does on the court physically, they could be him and maybe even better at being him. Seriously. Mr. Quasimodo saying, thank you, Lex. You're welcome, man. Every morning. I appreciate you, Mr. Quasimodo. Shaq Lindsay saying they say shooting is a muscle memory. So in the off season, you're still around. Please work on that muscle and you'll be all right. Talking to Grady Dick. Yeah. Facts at Shaq. My shot is splashing right now. Seymour is hitting it in the warehouse right now. He's got that ball going through the hoop. He's a splash brother in Calgary right now in the warehouse because he can shoot shots while he's at work. This is crazy. 25 feet out. Really, Seymour? Wow, that's good, man. How do you hit the roof? Do you hit the ceiling? Like, is there a high enough ceiling in that warehouse that you can do some good rainbow arcs? Okay. Shaq Lindsay saying, but I like what I see on defense. Yeah, Seymour, you got to watch out for that pull. Laugh out loud. Don't get me wrong. Dick is nice. He just might be the missing piece if he gets his game together. Well, there was a brief moment, a flash in the Warriors game when we started the game. Scottie went inside and made that Kawhi baseline shot. Brandon made an attacking shot, which wasn't a three, and he got his first points. And then Emmanuel went and got his first points, which was a three, I believe. And then Grady actually had a play run for him where he got curled around and came down the lane, and he actually had a successful play in that too. So, yeah, when that lineup against the Warriors, when Grady started, he kind of got integrated and had a good play set for him that ran, and it kind of jump-started him, allowed him to have a decent game for the Warriors. So maybe we need to do that for him more, that particular play set. I don't know. Is it just a thing where Grady's like, I'm starting. I'm going to have to play better because I want to start more, and I'm going more extra effort. I don't know. It shouldn't matter whether you're starting or coming off the bench. You could have asked Gary Trent Jr. or Dennis Schroeder when you were their teammates back in the past, Grady Dick. Because whatever you do on the court, you just need to do it. And that's making open threes. That's it right there. He did look really smooth in that part of that play set that I'm talking about in the Warriors game. And you're right. If he can be on and be what he's supposed to be, he's an extremely valuable player for us. Extremely valuable. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying, Masai said it. The best trade is the trade you don't make. Yeah. Seriously, once again, if you're making a lot of trades, your roster's messed up and you're trying to fix it. If your roster ain't broke, don't fix it. And the Raptors seem to be fine, is what I'm saying. Smooth saying more chatter of Sabonis to the Raptors. Yeah, I don't think that's realistic. Once again, I don't think any of these big pieces big contracts are coming to us and we're moving big contracts out. No, it's going to be mid-level, if not small potatoes, is what the Raptors and Bobby Webster will do around the trade deadline if they do make a move. They might not even make a move, and it'll make people go crazy. Raptors fans will be like, they didn't even make a move. They didn't even get the backup center and Day'Ron Sharp. They didn't even make a move. I can see that. I can see that happening because it's happened in years past where everybody gets juiced up by the trade deadline bullshit in the media, and they just expect the Raptors to do something, and then Masai and Bobby don't do jack shit, and everybody's falling out about it. And I'm like, why? They're confident in their team. They don't need to make a move, they feel like. So Smooth saying Bo took a 1-year, $42 million deal to play for the Mets. His opt-out's year 2 and 3. No way the Jays were matching that. So he took the money. He fretted, and that's fine. That's fine. He wanted out of Toronto. He told the guys at his wedding he wasn't coming back. Okay. And Blue Jays Freak giving us some of the info there. Kaloy's here. Good morning, Lex. If we had those two, Cardwell and Renault, back in Yak Up, we were contenders. I know that's the tough thing about seeing the Kings last night is we see Maxime, and we're kind of like, yeah, he seems useful. Man, we can't woulda, coulda, shoulda. We did what we did, and we got NCAA champion Elijah Martin. We did what we did. Smooth saying, looking at Presser with the Mets, looked like a hired gun. Typical scripted answer, BS. Okay. RJ saying this. It's Randolph. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. God's love is carried around in the heart that's desperately wicked. You can submit to being wicked and do evil, or you can genuinely love unconditionally. Man, it's so tough, man. Don't go to the evil just out of fear. We got to do what's right, and everybody knows what's right in their heart. So please, people, they keep saying it. If you wonder what you would have done in big, epic, historic events in the world, whether it was Nazi Germany or this or that, well, it's happening right now. This is what you would do. And if you're not getting in the streets and protesting, if you're not showing some sort of voice like I am on this channel, if you're not trying to do something to help the situation in the right direction of love and light, and you're a part of the dark side, oh, God help us all. And I would say that part is in those people. We just need to get it back to them. Seriously, we do. Kaloy saying, my love for Bobby will wane if we trade RJ for Sabonis. I don't see that happening. That's a stupid trade. Why would we trade RJ for Sabonis? I wouldn't do that. With the way the boys are playing, we can beat anyone. Can we trade for Cardwell, though? We went over that earlier. All right, let me do the Instagram stories real quick, guys. The CBL is asking if you want to become an insider. So sign up and become a CBL insider. It's awesome. RJ Barrett is posting Cardwell with the L and the glasses. RJ's got it right there. It's hilarious that the Raptors did this to this man. Well, if you're going to do something like airplane wings, Joel Embiid, or little goggles, like I ran down the court and blocked little shed, well, you get the L put over your thing there. Dylan Cardwell, welcome to the NBA. That's how it goes. Brady Dick, once again, very much just posting his own highlights in most cases. And that's it, man. I wish, Grady, you weren't so egocentric right now. In some ways, I'm wanting to see you celebrate your other teammates because in some ways, maybe it's you building up your own confidence or something, but the only thing you're ever posting is yourself. And in some ways, Grady, it's not coming off right. When I see all your other teammates are posting team stuff and celebrating each other, and Grady's just posting himself over and over again. And this has been happening consistently for a couple weeks now. And I've noticed that Jacoby's got the team win with Cardwell with the goggles. Jamal has a picture of himself on the court, but then he's saying happy birthday to a friend of his. He's also got another picture of himself. And he's got a picture of him and Scottie. And then he's got the team photo in the back, which is always fun to check out. I love looking at the team photos and their expression stuff. There's a steal from Russell where Russell decided to take a nap. That was pretty funny. And there's Cardwell with the L on Jamal Sheds. Jonathan Mobo with two of his coaches from San Francisco before the game and Golden State, showing love to the Dons. And there he is with some stuff shooting up. And there he is trying to score on Cardwell in the game. That's actually where he got blocked. And there's the team photo. Mamu with Jaju Patulia, who is Georgian, fellow Georgian. Of course, he's involved with the Golden State Warriors franchise. So Mamu was around one of the more famous Georgian players in NBA history, Pachulia. There's Mamu with the team photo, and there's a play for him on there, and there's a picture of him, and there's the score, 122-109. So, yeah, good job, Sandro Mamu. Manu quickly with the team photo on his Instagram, and that's it. Jamison Battle with the team score on his Instagram. Chris Boucher's been doing mental health checks with people in the community lately. He's getting a lot of praise from that. Slim Duck Foundation doing some mental health work with the kids. So good job, Chris. Keep doing the good work. Leo Routen's in the studio with Kia and Kate. Love that TSN crew. They're awesome. Coach Andrew Jones is still around Toronto, not on the road with the team because the 905 are going to be playing Brooklyn's G League team, the Long Island Nets, tomorrow. So they'll be back in action. So what did he do? Andrew Jones took his son, young Drewski, to the Leaf game last night. And Drewski got to get his first Maple Leafs game. He's wearing the jersey, and he got to stand in the corridor when the Leafs came out to play and dap all the team on the way out. And so Andrew's saying, making memories with my son. Pretty cool. So because we know Andrew Jones's son likes hockey. He's been playing a lot of hockey. His sisters play basketball, but he plays more hockey, so he's into the Leafs. So Andrew Jones, coach of the 905, did the Leafs win last night? I don't know. Did they win last night? Because maybe Andrew Jones and his good luck from 905 record was rubbing off on the Buds. And well, Andrew Jones' son, Junior, was rubbing off on them with the Daps. That's right, the Daps. Let's see. All right, Teresa Resch they announced the Tempo's schedule with a Lego cartoon, which was kind of cool. They had Legos come out, and like, this is the Toronto Tempo's first schedule ever. That's pretty cool, Teresa. I like that tie up. Yeah, and she's saying you can find me here. Man, there's so many good games. 3 games will be played at Scotiabank Arena, 2 games in Montreal on July the 10th and the 12th. And then Vancouver will be coming to see you guys August the 21st and the 23rd are the days where the games in Vancouver. So mark your calendars and get ready and get set for WNBA action, the Commissioner's Cup, all kinds of cool stuff happening. And I want to go over the schedule with you guys a little bit more in depth by the end of the stream still. Matt Devlin's got good highlights of Emmanuel's amazing game the other night, his accomplishment. Fantastic stuff. Let's see what else we got in the Instagram. Let's see. There's the Toronto Tempo with the official schedule release, which is awesome. So cool. And I mean, we don't even have players, but we know when they're going to play. We need to get players. The expansion draft needs to happen as soon as possible. Sandy Brondello needs to start deciding how she's going to build this team. I'm telling you, man, we got to get there. Yesterday was Bell Let's Talk day, and the Raptors 905 and other teams were putting that on blast yesterday also. Let's see. Is there anything else in there? That's it. That's the Instagram stories. Let's see. Let me see if there's any breaking news on Blue Skies for right now. Let's see if there's any breaking news with the Raptors. Nope, there's no breaking news on the Raptors. Let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods. Y'all, every morning in the morning, I like to eat a breakfast bar, and I eat Made Good. Made Good mornings are fantastic. This is an organic, soft-baked oat bar, Canadian made by a Canadian company here in Ontario. And yeah, these are awesome, man. This is cinnamon bun flavor. Man, I eat an apple and this, and I'm good to go for the morning. So yeah, Made Good. Check it out. Buy their bars. Don't buy Nature's Value. Don't buy American companies one. This is a Canadian bar, a good supplement substitution if you want to get some sort of breakfast bar in the morning like that. I know that's what I'm eating in the morning. No birthday today. Let's see. All right, I wanted to go over the WNBA schedule just a little bit real quick. Of course, they're going to start, and they're going to play their first game on May the 8th at Coca-Cola Coliseum. It's a Friday, and they're going to play the Washington Mystics, and that'll be the historic first ever game in Toronto Tempo history. It's going to be really cool to see, and then they get some time off. But, yeah, they're going to have some road trips where they go out west, and they're going to have to play different people. And, as I said, there's a few games at Scotiabank. There's a few games in Montreal, a few games in Vancouver. And, there's the Commissioner's Cup, which is kind of like the in-season tournament cup for the NBA that we're going to be playing in that. And I'm just trying to see, like, it's pretty, seems like it's all spread out with the different teams in the WNBA. We're going to play a lot of the teams twice at least, if not 3 times, and depending on when. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll go over it more in depth, I guess, closer to it. I guess there's going to be a period where I could go over the schedule a little bit better at some point. Yeah. East Missy is available, according to Michael Grange, is what Reggie just said. Interesting. All right, let's do this. Maybe let's get out of here. I'm tired. We had a record 5 calls on the show today. That's the most calls I've ever taken on a show. If somebody wants to call real fast to get it in before I get done, we'll have the record 6 if you want to try and do that. All right, classic card. Full name answer, please. This is a classic player. Slug DZ is still here. He'll probably get it right away. This is a classic player from the Celtics. And, well, if you know who this player is, write his full name in. First and last name, Brad Lohas. That is wrong. That is not Brad Lohas. Former Raptor Brad Lohas, by the way, is not Brad. That is a different player. This player played for Arkansas, I believe, was his alma mater. Or is he from Arkansas? I remember that. Yeah, Smooth got it, but he didn't spell his name right. But it is Joe Klein. Joe Klein, the backup center for the Celtics for a while there. He was also on the Kings for that. Yeah, Arkansas is right. Wow, look, Lex, you got a good memory, man. Arkansas Razorback, 7 foot, Joe Klein. I'd say this is a 300. Actually, you know what? I don't know, 200, 300 card. We'll say, let's see. William Bedford was 300. Joe Klein. I'm going to give you 200. 200 for Joe Klein. 200. Smooth getting the Joe Klein card today. 200 for Smooth Brown Man getting that card. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. I guess I'm tired. I should just get out of here. I feel like I'm forgetting to do something. Maybe I'm just really tired and crazy. Yeah, I think that's what it is. All right, y'all, wrapping it up. The Raptors did great. They beat the Kings. They won both the games in the back-to-back recently. Fantastic. Players of the game, Scottie Barnes, number 1 star. Sandro Mamukelashvili, number 2 star. Brandon Ingram, number 3. Emmanuel Quickley, number 4. And Jamal Shed, number 5 on my stars. The starters were the guys. That's right. Yeah, you're back on the board after a while. Yeah, it's been a little bit there, Smooth. Once again, I'm going to say this because we're coming back from the road trip. On Tuesday, we're doing a regular Raptor Freak Tuesday trivia on Tuesday morning. So look forward to that in a couple days. Next Tuesday, I'll have questions written up, and we're going to do Tuesday trivia. We have not played Tuesday trivia pretty much this whole entire season. So we will get a Tuesday trivia in this week on the 2 days off after Oklahoma City on Sunday. So be ready for that. Tomorrow, Raptors are in Portland. We'll do the setup for the game tomorrow morning, along with a preview for Raptors 905 resuming action against the Brooklyn G League team, the Long Island Nets. So 2 previews tomorrow, and I'll be back at 9:30 in the morning. All right, I got to go get a rest, man. I'm so tired. I appreciate everybody calling today. Wow, it was Seymour, Kareem, Omari, Infamous, and Stargate all called us today. And it's great to hear different voices and talking about all the different things going on. God bless everybody. All the glory to God. Let's kick some ass, Raptors. Let's keep going. Tomorrow's not promised, so you got to do it today. And go get it. Go get it. Let's make this world the world we want, because now we're in the new era of that. And in some ways, if we don't make the world we want, somebody's going to make it for us, and it's not going to be the world we want. So in some ways, we need to resist. We need to stand up. We need to be ready to say this is not going to fly, because this is not the world we want, and y'all can't force this world on us. That's something that we all need to really keep in mind as things slide into weird dystopia in the United States right now, because it is really messed up. And Americans, if you're not seeing things clearly right now because your media is so warped and things are so messed up, understand the rest of the world is seeing things clearly. And don't be in a deranged, crazy, sociopathic mindset like Donald Trump, because he is not a good leader, and he's obviously deranged and messed up in the head, and the press is not covering things correctly. There's major protests. There's a lot of people out in the streets, and they are not paid. These are regular people, and these are real patriots and real Americans. If you believe the line that these are not people that are in the majority of the country, you're wrong. The silent majority of the United States is not agreeing with what's going on right now. This is not popular to most people in the United States. And there is a lot of stoking division. They may be wanting to pit the rest of the world against the U.S. in certain ways. We have to always remember, it's not the people. It's not the country itself. It's the faction. It's just like the Nazis in Germany. It's the MAGA. It's the MAGA. It's the Trump people. It's the right-wingers. that are absolutely running that country in the ground. And we have to remember there's a lot of people being held hostage in that country right now. And it's not a Canadian versus an American. It's Canadians and Americans versus MAGA. And we have to help our friends in the United States, and they need to help themselves. Because as you guys help yourselves from within that country, you're helping the rest of the world, and we'll do our part on the outside too. So when we boycott your businesses, understand that's to help y'all. And when y'all walk out, like a lot of people are doing in Minnesota today, you're doing that to help yourselves. So we're all interconnected. There's no way around it. And in some ways, with y'all being so toxic and crazy down there right now, it's very destructive to the world in all kinds of different ways. And we just need everybody to get on the right page and get this out of there. And seriously, if there's people in the inside fighting it from the inside and we're on the outside helping y'all, we're going to do our best as a collaborative between the American people, the sane American people, the people that actually believe in what America's supposed to be, and not the fascist fucking bootlicking scared cowards that are for ICE and Donald Trump. We're going to make this work. We're going to figure this out more and more as time goes on. I mean, the man's unraveling mentally in front of us. And who knows where he's going to be by the end of this year. In fact, if he's somewhere, I hope he's in a jail cell, honestly. Seriously. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a great day. Much love and blessings. Let's think about the best things happening, and we'll make them happen, whether it's on the basketball court or in the world in general. Because there is hope, there is positivity, and there is light. And you can make that part of the world more by doing your part in your sphere of influence and where you live and who you interact with. So let's be loving, positive, and helpful in community. And we, in some ways, that's the best energy to resist the darkness, is that coming together and strengthening our bonds. I am with you guys in the United States. They're protesting and resisting. I see you guys. I don't hate the country's ideals and what they are. I just hate that your system is broken and you've let it pervert itself to this point. And we need to fix this as soon as possible. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Let's keep winning, even when they don't want us to. We'll keep winning. That's right, Scottie. Let's go.